Hello, everyone. Welcome to the DT Podcast, episode, I think, 22. We have been sporadic and not particularly on a schedule since we have hit the milestone of episode 20, but that is all good, though. As we're not canceled, we're still doing our thing here. This is Trihex. I'm going to have my co-pilot, Mr. Destiny, Mr. Bestiny, Mr. Godstiny, or as your haters like to say, Des Tiny.
Thanks.
I don't know if you look at that one or not here, but, you know, it's still oldie but a goodie. But yeah, and welcome to the episode. Today's actually been kind of, before we get into introductions and catching up here, it's been kind of a dry week for me. I've been hitting the Mario Maker 2 blunt really, really hard. And I have not been as politically savvy this week. I'm really, really out of the loop on a lot of things here. So for once, I can't carry here. I'm going to need a carry by Destiny this time.
Politically, what's been going on? I mean, I think the whole Democratic primary stuff has kind of been in a lull. I tweeted earlier there was a fundraising article that went over some of the amount of money that's been raised by Democratic candidates so far. Pete Buttigieg has actually ran away in terms of fundraising. This is all really boring. Otherwise, everything's been kind of quiet. I mean, on my stream, we've been arguing a lot about the Justice Dems, but yeah.
Okay, well, you got me kind of okay. Well, do we want to? You got me kind of curious right now about what's been the beef with the Justice Dems. I thought they were squeaky clean. What's been the issue there? Is there trouble in paradise right now?
The thing that I've come to realize so many things over the past couple months, but basically, I used to be very idealistic in my approach to politics when I was in my early 20s, and I keep finding out every year that I'm a little bit too idealistic still. And the more that I dig into electoral politics, the more kind of complicated everything seems to be. So maybe a year ago, I probably would have shit all over people like Nancy Pelosi because these guys just compromise with the Republicans and they don't even go hard or anything, and they're so dumb and they don't do anything right. But I kind of, digging in more to kind of the finer side of how do you actually finesse legislation, when you don't have these super majorities in Congress, and how do you actually get work done in Congress? I've kind of grown to respect some of these people a lot more. Right now, there's a strange rift where you have these, I guess they're called the Justice Democrats. It's not just the Justice Democrats. They've also had support from a couple other of these kind of, I guess you'd say PACs or whatever. But basically, they're called the Squad. And the two most popular ones are AOC and the Ilhan.
Yeah, Ilhan Omar. Correct, yeah.
I'm trying to find what the other two are called. I don't see them referenced as much.
Are you talking about specifically the four women who were targeted by the Trump tweet?
Yeah, Rashida Tlaib. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
I'm not pronouncing it either, but I know you're talking about.
Sure. And then Ayanna Pressley or whatever. Basically, these four Dems have kind of come in very idealistically. And they've kind of been stirring up, I'd say, a lot of trouble for kind of the establishment Dems. And there's been a lot of shit slinging back and forth on Twitter by these people. And basically, Nancy Pelosi is more or less said hey, if you have a problem, come talk to me. Why are you stirring shit up for other Democrats? This doesn't make sense. And then the Justice Dems are hey, you guys aren't getting shit done, so we are gonna stir shit up on social media because that's where we have the strongest voice. And I guess on this side of the debate, I kind of lean a little bit more or I find more favor with Nancy Pelosi's argument that there are effective ways to get this stuff passed. And I don't think that just appealing to your Twitter audience is the best way to kind of go about moving legislation through Congress. It's kind of kind of where we're at right now. And then obviously a lot of my fans are quite a bit more left-leaning, it seems, and a lot more kind of starry-eyed idealistic, and a lot of them generally seem to side with the Justice Dems way of stirring shit up on Twitter and saying fuck off to the moderate Dems and that they need to be more extreme. And that seems to be the mind of the college kind of white Democrat, or not college white Democrat, the college internet white Democrat, where you have this group of people online on Twitter that all day are talking about socialism and stuff, and they're dude, we need to run these socialist extreme left candidates in every district. But the actual electoral map isn't quite as extreme as the Twitter liberals would have you believe, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of yikesing a little bit on that take right there. Probably sure you got a lot of opposition for that here, but see, how I would view it is wouldn't you would want someone borderline socialist, super far left, because whenever the opposition comes to say whoa, you want way too many things. Let's bring it back to American conservatism. inevitably, if you don't have like a super majority or even like a majority like progressive cabinet, you're gonna have to like add in compromises. Just look at how the political football of like the 9/11 first responders bill, how the first iteration of that, not the current one that happened this year with Jon Stewart, but like the first iteration like got tacked into another thing that the Republicans wanted anyway. So it's like, hey, oh yeah, we want this thing for oil companies, but like, oh, but you support the troops, don't you? Like clearly you're going to support our bill that has both those things in there at the same time. So it's kind of like, I feel like.
So these are kind of like, these are the really basic negotiating takes that I would have given you a year ago. Like you always want to push for more and blah, blah, blah. But the problem is that like the actual like electoral roadmap is so much more complicated than that. So like, it's easy to have, okay, so I don't want to sound dismissive. So to be clear, I probably would agree with the majority of like the Justice Dems agenda. I would consider myself to be extremely progressive, farther left than most people in the United States, probably most people in Europe when it comes to social issues. So I probably agree with most of their agenda. But the problem is that when you're standing from a district that votes 20 points in favor of Democratic policies, it's easy to advocate for these extremely progressive positions. But when you start saying that this needs to become a staple of the Democratic Party, what you end up doing is you end up putting a lot of your more vulnerable seats at risk. So these are seats that have been won in more moderate kind of districts where you have like, for instance, during the last, we called it the blue wave. A lot of those Democrats won in districts that went hard for Trump, right? These people are probably not going to hear a message of like, extremely progressive politics. This is one of the reasons why Pelosi, for instance, is pushing against the impeachment thing that I think the House is actually finally trying to start to move forward on, where Pelosi's idea is like, okay, listen, like if we go the impeachment route, we're going to end up risking a lot of these seats in kind of these more moderate states, these more moderate districts, because these people that voted for Dems were Trump supporters. So like pushing impeachment here, even though it sounds good on Twitter, and even though maybe like the general Democratic population, like as a whole wants it, the individual districts where some of these people fought and won these seats could still swing back to Republicans. It's not like these seats are, you have them and then you hold on to them forever. And, we're not going to worry about losing any of these things ever,
So I hear you on that loud and clear. I'm to be totally honest, not in favor of pursuing impeachment because I do think it's a giant, I don't know, political facade that's not actually going to get much done. Like, like even feel like, if I recall correctly, the process is still like super duper like, it's not like you just like, it happens and then like, the next day Trump's out of office or whatever. And even if it was that, like, it doesn't really matter because like, okay, cool. Even if you tomorrow could hypothetically impeach Trump because like he's hit your said person's hypothetical critical throttle on tolerance of like all the bullshit he does. Well, cool. Now you got to deal with Pence. Now you got VP Pence is like the guy head in charge now, and he's
that's assuming. Well, firstly, any impeachment process is going to die in the Senate anyway, right now, right? Like, you know that.
I was even giving this also entertaining hypothetical here that even if it did happen,
so like and I went over a couple articles yesterday talking about this. There's a lot of people in your chat. I don't know if these are all Hassan fans or not, but like I'm just reading some of his I'll read some of these comments. Impeachment is a process. The first half is an investigation that informs the masses. We already had that. Trump's approval rating is about where it was, like a year ago. He hasn't really lost any approval. Trump's approval among Republicans is still like 90+%. It's not like Republicans, and if anything, there have been articles saying that Republicans have been even more emboldened by supporting Trump because of his past like racist tirades. If that Mueller investigation that was pretty harsh on him, especially for obstruction of justice things, didn't cause people to turn heads, I don't necessarily think an impeachment process is going to do it anyway. It seems like based on the analyses that I've read, and I could be wrong, but based on what I've read, and one of these came from, I don't know if this is a Nate Silver article or just a 538 article, but basically the idea is that Democrats don't really have anything to gain by doing the impeachment proceedings, but they could lose quite a bit. It could embolden Republican support more. Probably not, because Republicans already massively support him. It could end up like backfiring on Democrats who hold vulnerable seats. So seats in districts where they had gone hard for Trump, these people might feel, like, well, this is some bullshit. And then it could push conservatives, or not conservatives, sorry, it could push moderates a little bit further to the right, because moderates actually don't favor impeachment proceedings. Or I'm sorry, I keep saying moderates, I mean independents. Independents don't favor impeachment proceedings by like a 15-point difference. It's like, I think it was like a 60, it's like 60-40 or like 58 to 42 or some shit. So, and then real quick, like, because everybody in chat, I don't want to pull out like my privilege cards or whatever, but like everybody in chat that's saying that like they're not supposed to gain anything, they're supposed to remove a president that's unfit for office. And then I saw someone else earlier say they have a moral duty to impeach. These are really great takes when you're in high school, Like when you get a little bit older, you have to realize that like the fight to actually get stuff done in Congress is so much more complicated than just do the right thing. You got to do the right thing. Like in this case, if your idea of do the right thing causes us to lose the House again, and then you have a House and a Senate, they're Republicans. Again, it's easy if you're like a white college liberal to be talking about like, well, we fought the good fight, we did the right thing. But when you have like kids dying in fucking concentration camps at the border, when you've got people that are actually disaffected in the United States by horrible fucking policy, when you've got the idea of losing another Supreme Court justice to a conservative pick, it's not really time to play with the whole like morality, like what's the best thing. It's time to be ruthlessly effective politically. And I think that's what the Democrats should focus on. Okay, go for it.
Okay. Let me. So let's bring it back here. So before I would pick that apart, let me just ask you. Okay, so you have admiration for Pelosi because she's like you like
she gets shit done.
She quote unquote gets shit done. Sure, partisan ways, make the Republicans and Democrats actually come towards something rather than have the infinite indifference lead to perpetual nothingness forever. So then what's so play out to me then? What's the best scenario here? So like Pelosi continues to like do her like both sides thing. I mean, she's her vote and her record seem pretty conservative to me compared to like what I would say.
No. I'm so sorry. You've been fed bullshit from extreme lefties. I get these takes all the time where it's like, if you defend Pelosi, you're right wing. Pelosi was part of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. She was like an early member of it for a long time. She only quit because she was like the House minority leader. And Pelosi has one of the most liberal voting records in Congress. Like you can check like on 15 different sites, like her voting rating and her voting record. Pelosi is an extremely left-leaning voting person. This idea that like Pelosi is like a conservative or right-wing or whatever is absolutely not true. It's a total meme pushed by like both, well, I guess pushed by extreme progressives. I don't know who else honestly thinks that. It's very strange because I grew up like a Republican, and Republicans fucking hate Pelosi.
Okay, so
and now it seems like go ahead.
Let's slow that down a little bit here. Okay, so I don't have citation on her voting record specifically on me right now, but let's agree on one fact I can say here. Super establishment Dem who is like swimming, bathing like neck deep and super PAC money, whether or establishment contribution funds. Like if we're talking about like if one of the things you might find admirable about Justice Dems is that they don't accept PAC money or any kind of corporate binding favorism money, Pelosi is like the absolute opposite of that. So then whenever that contribution is gonna like dilute her voting record. Like she has favors to owe because it's a giant money raising campaign 24/7 all year long.
Like I don't want to sound, it sounds so bad, but like, oh man. Here's the facts.
Like
okay?
not only that, then
the Justice Dems didn't accept any super PAC money, but they didn't win any important districts. All they won were districts that were insanely blue already. It's easier to say, well, I don't accept any money from super PACs when you're not running in contested districts. The Justice Dems, all they did, I think the lowest district they won was a D+19 district, from +19 all the way to +36. The Justice Dems aren't flipping important seats. They lost every single governor they tried to run, and then in almost every other election, anything closer than a +16 district, they lost. So I mean, like on one end, it's cool that you don't take money from PACs or super PACs or whatever, but on the other end, those seats are really fucking important. And we can't pretend that Democrats and Republicans don't vote differently in Congress. They do. There are huge partisan lines that we vote on for certain legislation, whether it's immigration related, whether it's healthcare related. So if it comes down to some Democrats in vulnerable districts needing to take PAC or super PAC money in order to hold on to those seats, fucking do it. Because at the end of the day, when we're voting for things like immigration reform or climate change, you're not going to see Democrats break with the party to vote in favor of like a PAC interest. It's just not going to happen. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I guess technically you're right if we're trying to win politics here, but I guess maybe I'm a little bit optimist here, but I'd like to see the game change. I'd like to see us move in a direction where we can remove money from politics, as long as that message gets out eventually. Maybe things can go in that better direction here. But
sure,
I don't know,
do you think we're going to remove money from
fire
politics?
with fire. I don't know. Just it hits me kind
of.
Are
we going to remove money from politics by giving like everything back to the Republicans because we want to like be pure? Like that's like at the end of the day, that's what I don't see. And like again, like I understand that like with like the white liberal audience that exists on Twitter, it seems like all of this is a no-brainer. Like, oh yeah, run progressive, straight progressive, PACs are horrible and blah blah blah. But people forget like the broader Democrat electorate. Like if I were to go by Twitter polls, the leading candidates right now are Bernie and Warren by a huge margin. Right. But if you look at the actual polls of the Democratic base, Biden is still like a clear front runner, not even close. He's a clear double-digit front runner. Not to say that that couldn't change, and hopefully to God it fucking does, because fuck Biden. But I think that in internet discussions we lose track of like the actual broader electorate, because a lot of these people aren't on the internet shit posting on Twitter all day and posting in Chapo Trap House and in our Discord politics groups chatting with each other. Sure. These are people that work 2 or 3 jobs that are going home trying to feed their fucking kids, and that's all they have time for,
No, I hear you on that, which is kind of why I value whenever I hear Raj's take on things. Like I was actually really excited to hear about Raj's take because I know he's not as informed or as politically savvy. So kind of getting like a less savvy Spectrum's take on what's going on right now is kind of pretty valuable, I would say. And in that regard, yeah, I kind of heard a lot more buzz about, sadly, about Booker and Kamala Harris than I did Warren and Bernie, unfortunately, from the recent debates. I hear you. It's just, I don't know, man. It makes me, if we have to play dirty in order to progress here, like I just hate how the current climate is now. And that sounds super. Your attitude sounds defeated. That if I have to like be honest here, that's what comes off as. Like that we have to succumb to like the infinite perpetual money raising machine in order to like play their game and do all these things here, and it's just like our hands are getting dirty as well while we go in there. Like
so like this is the way that I look at it.
If the message changes eventually, if we actually is there not an advocacy for there to be like better transparency and like kind of like counter the propaganda from the MSM about how blatantly pay to win the current political climate is right now? Like, does it not get better over time?
If you want to change it, you need Democrats in Congress. If we want a purity test and only run PAC candidates, that's fine. But the end result, or not like non-super PAC, non-money PAC candidates, that's fine. But your end result is going to be a Republican Congress again with the Senate and the House, and then Trump staying in office. And then, some woman that can't afford fucking anything, that is in a single parent household, can't do shit in life, gets pregnant, can't get an abortion because she's got to go 2 states away, right? These are the people that ultimately get damaged. I think, and again, I hate to play this card, but it's easy to talk about how important purity in politics is when you are like a white, affluent, straight male on Twitter, because that's what most of the people online are that advocate for these, like the Justice Dems. That's why they don't have the support of the black voting base like Biden does. Believe it or not, you'd never know that if you look online. Well, of course, Sanders has more black support than Biden. Nope, not even close. It's easy to advocate for these things when you don't have anything to lose if shit goes south, which most people don't. Right. But like at the end of the day, I think we should be like focusing on like how do we effectively get these policies pushed? If you want to get money into politics, the only way to do it is to get Dems in the House and in the Senate. That's the only way to do it. You're not going to get rid of any of this shit with a Republican president. You're not going to get rid of this shit with McConnell still as the Senate Majority Leader.
Yeah.
You have to play the game and you have to get your people in if you want to make meaningful change in America. This jerking off over how pure your candidate is because they don't take super PAC money is great on Twitter, but it's not good, in the House and the Senate. And that's just the facts. I'm sorry, yeah.
So, okay, my one thing I want to say is like a kind of counter there is like, so whenever we have instances of direct democracy, like whenever whenever we got voted legal as part of like that random proposition for the state of California and it like went effective, what was it, like January 1st, 2018 or whatever, like whenever you have issues in America that are direct democracy related, they tend to vote progressive. So I feel I feel like there are more progressive there. You just got to like, it's the framing of the situation. Like whenever you hear Affordable Health Care Act versus Obamacare, yeah, you get 2 very wildly different answers, right?
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait. Say that again. What you just said, sorry.
Whenever people like frame Affordable Health Care Act versus like calling it Obamacare, right? Usually you get 2 very wild answers. From certain like regular everyday people, because like the connotation that Obamacare is been fed to you as like a terrible fucking thing, which to be fair, obviously, yeah, it's like it's not nowhere near what it should be, obviously, but like yeah, you get 2 different answers there. So it's more about the messaging of it's more about the messaging of the thing there. So it's like you can frame things better to like get the compassion of the general everyday person. So whenever you say these districts are like incredibly conservative, well, if you run like blatantly anti-Trump stuff, I could also see that being
but what
a
could be more blatantly anti-Trump than that? Imagine this for a second. Imagine you're a Democrat, okay, and you've got people like the Justice Dems, okay, that are very popular on Twitter, shit-talking you because you're not coming out in favor of the impeachment proceedings that are now going to be moving to the House, and you're in a district that was plus 20 for Trump during the election. What the fuck are you supposed to do there? Do you come out and say like, well, I'm going to support impeachment, you guys? Like, please please vote for me, or you're somebody that's going to try to take one of those seats, like, please vote for me, guys. I know that I'm trying to impeach the guy that you guys all voted in favor of, but please, right? How horrible is your position now that the House moves forward with this on stuff that's never going to be finished before, and we don't even know if it would. It's such a bad move politically, and like it misses how the game is played, like on the electoral level, and just focuses on this like broader, like either popular support for something, which doesn't mean anything because that's not how the electoral roadmaps are played, or Twitter polls, which literally mean fuck all, you know?
Okay, well, let's bring it back a little bit here. So Pelosi's like performance, didn't she like? Haven't we like lost a fuck ton of seats with her under leadership?
We had the blue wave. We gained a lot on the last election cycle.
Yeah, I didn't know we were talking about this. I wish I was way more rehearsed on it. Unfortunately, still feels pretty. I don't know. It feels pretty nuclear on your end. So I'm just like, dude, is this really where we have to go with it now? Like, because if we play that game, like, what's the end game? Like, if we use money in politics to get our way, when does the cycle ever end? When will it ever be honest? Is it always going to be this way, where it's like a money fundraising extravaganza with like a freaking extended 18-month election cycle of news coverage for every major presidential election?
We can talk about. Like. That's a more complicated conversation because we have to talk about Citizens United, and honestly, I've never had somebody debate me on Citizens United who is in favor of getting rid of it and actually win that debate. It's actually such a complicated issue. It seems really cool to say get money out of politics, but like if we had an argument about it, I think you would be pro Citizens United at the end of it. Like it's really fucking difficult to do it. And even if that was your goal, you're never going to do it with a Republican Senate. It's never going to happen. You have to get the seats. You have to win the seats. You absolutely have to win the seats. That's it. Like at the end of the day, that's all that matters is winning the seats. You're not going to vote in this legislation via referendum. This isn't the United Kingdom. That's never going to happen, right? You have to get the seats.
So like, okay. I'll try to use a metaphor here because this is what it comes off as. You sound like a tainted centrist right now to me, and I could be ill-informed in the whole thing here. And it's like, okay, so if you want to keep Pelosi, and you admire the job she's currently done right now, and you are like okay with fighting fire with fire or whatever on a we have to win, pay to win basis here, like, then where does it stop? I don't know. Like, well shit, if we can get more things done if we have some corporate sellout Democrat like Biden. It's weird for me that you say that you're actually for Warren or Bernie, but then you're okay with Pelosi. Like that's like it seems so polarizing to me right there. Like, I don't really get that. Like, is the idea
because
there that
Pelosi
if we have like
is ruthlessly effective? She raised like $90 million the last like election cycle, more than any of the Democrats. She's done so much work to get these like vulnerable seats like secured because of all the funding that she's gotten secured for the Democrats. I guess like if we have two paths forward, one of them is like the pure no super PAC, no money, running on our principles in every single district, and then the other is doing the politically effective strategy needed to win. Then in one world, we lose a ton of vulnerable seats. Maybe we lose the House. We continue to not have control of the Senate. And maybe even Trump takes the presidency again. And now you've lost all three branches of government. Like that seems to be the outcome. But in the other one, where we play like a politically ruthless game, we hold on to or take more seats in vulnerable districts, which we've shown is possible, right? And then when we start to vote on legislation, we don't need as much bipartisan support because Democrats do vote overwhelmingly differently from Republicans when it comes to things like climate change or healthcare, right? We get these seats, we pass the legislation we want to. That just seems like the more politically effective route rather than I empathize with like we got to play pure and all that. Like Republicans don't, like they're ruthless, and you have to match that ruthlessness if you want to have the political efficacy of your opponents.
No, I will agree with you there. It is particularly ruthless. Like I feel like a progressive has to do twice as much for half the effectiveness. Like it's not an even playing field anywhere near close. I'm sorry. I wish I was more prepared here to cite things further.
No, it's fine. Yeah, and I mean you don't have to believe anything. I'm sure
I want to attack this one. Come back to it next week because I'm like, ooh boy, you threw a lot at me on this one. This was a curveball. Yeah, I was not expecting from you actually.
Yeah, there's so much shit that goes into it. It's really fucking complicated. I wish it wasn't. But yeah, it's such a
let me ask you, do we know about, because I know wasn't Pelosi up for re-election in the midterms of 2018, right? And wasn't there like a and forgive me, I'm forgive me for overemphasizing identity here. I forgot her name, but there was like a black lady who was like had a way better record than Pelosi on progressive issues because of Pelosi's voting record supposedly, and like Pelosi like narrowly won or something like that, right? Like she had a serious bet beforehand, right?
Pelosi primaries 2018. I don't know the margin, but she's
forgive me, I don't have it offhand here.
What does anybody know where I can find the primary results of Pelosi? How the fuck did Pelosi get so demonized that people are now calling her Twitter? Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Yeah. Fuck. If somebody in chat wants to link this, we can look at how she ran against whoever ran against her in a primary. But like Pelosi's voting record overall is one of the most liberal. Is one of the most liberal in Congress. Like I think like the freedom of speech, whatever people that like vote, like how good like people are on like conservative issues, gave her like a 0% rating. Like it was insane.
Okay. All right.
The following candidates ran in the primary for U.S. Wait, so these actual this is actually primary votes, and she absolutely fucking annihilated. Yeah, she had 141,000 votes, and the runner-up Democrat had 18,000. Shahid Buttar. But anyway, yeah, just don't like, you can believe certain things that if we disagree, like that's fine or whatever too, of course. But don't believe the progressive lies that Pelosi is like a right winger or votes conservative. It's so absolutely not true, and it does such a disservice to what she does. You can disagree with the strategy, you can disagree with political effectiveness versus moral whatever positions, but the idea that Pelosi is conservative or right wing is absolutely fucking ridiculous. It is an absurd statement to make, and it is absolutely the epitome of straight white college liberal on Twitter who believes these opinions. It's absolutely crazy.
Okay, I can't challenge it right now, but that is a lot to swallow in any kind of flavor. I will tack this one, and I will come back prepared next week because
sure.
Boy.
Oh, and then also, okay, wait here. Okay, I'll give you two things. One is Pelosi conservative. That's one. Okay, two, this is an easy one to counter. It's strange because like a lot of the arguments people use against Pelosi, now progressives do it. Conservatives already done it, so I'm already familiar with a lot of the bullshit arguments. There's this idea that both sides are both conservative and they vote the same way. The reason why people say this is because online, the loudest voices are the fringe minority. People that listen to Chapo Trap House represent the fringest of minority of actual like voters, okay? Insanely fringe, but they're the loudest online. So you feel like, wow, maybe America really is ready to go socialist, ignoring the fact that these people represent like the fringest of the fringe in terms of voting. When you actually, oh fuck, wait, where was I going with this? Wait, what did I open this with?
You opened this with, let me rewind back a little bit here. That Pelosi is like we're talking about the re-election or her re-election in 2018. Then you're telling me how that she's actually like very liberal in her voting record, and I think you're trying to like kind of dig into like some anecdotal examples of her doing that or something like that. So I said it was hard to swallow.
Yeah, fuck. I'm sorry. I was reading the Pelosi shit that I wrote you. Oh yeah, it's people will make the argument that like that getting more Dems than is just business as usual, blah blah blah. This is a popular argument that that disaffected progressives made when Bernie lost against Hillary. Bernie Bros made this argument. Both sides. How do both sides vote? Democrats and Republicans do not vote the same. That is a horrendous mischaracterization of how legislation is voted on.
That's a fair point. I agree with that.
Democrats and conservatives vote strictly on party lines when it comes to things like healthcare and climate change and immigration. It's not even fucking close. This idea that Republicans and establishment Dems vote the same way is total bullshit. Do not let progressives tell you that horrible fucking lie. There are people that like ran around and made like these massive Reddit posts showing the difference on how they vote on these two things, and Republicans and Democrats hardcore break on these.
So now you got me wanting curious here. Okay, so let's say hypothetically that like whatever, like Bernie wins with like a Republican cabinet galore, right? Because we got to deal with until like 2022 when we can do like the midterm re-election.
If Bernie wins with a Republican cabinet,
right?
Oh, with like a Republican Senate or whatever. I don't know how many Senate seats are up for this election cycle, if that's something we feel like could be flipped on. I'm not sure.
You
Sorry,
know,
but go ahead. Let's say Bernie.
That is a valid point, though. You're right. Well, yeah. So irrelevant to that, right? So let's say, like, I don't know, like fucking within the first 6 months, he gets out like legislation for Medicare for all. Like, it's gonna go out there, and then you know, obviously all these like pharma corrupt conservative voters are all like, man, fuck that shit. I got hella pharma money, you know, funding my pockets right now, so I don't want this shit. They veto. Like, how does this play out here? I just don't understand here. Like, is there like, because now you're making it, because your attitude right now makes you feel like there's like no hope for any kind of progressive policy. Like, we're never gonna get Medicare for all. We're never gonna get any kind of bailout.
No, not with McConnell running the Senate. No fucking way. No, you got to flip it. That's how it should be. I mean, if you feel like you have the policies, you should be able to flip these seats. That's how American politics is. If you can't, like, people seem to think that like all America, even the Medicare for all thing is actually way more contentious. That's framed really disingenuously. The support for that is not as broad as people like to lead you to believe. But yeah, if you want to get that policy through, you absolutely have to be able to do things like flip the Senate, or you need to have so many seats that you can negotiate, you know, down the line. But yeah, you can't. If Republicans are having majorities,
I don't agree with that. You really think that Medicare for all is not popular right now amongst everyone?
So the way that it's framed is, it's like, I think like 80% of Americans are in favor of Medicare for all if you just ask them the blanket question. But as soon as you ask anything more, like if we have to do a tax to pay for this, even on the wealthy or whatever, like the support for it drops dramatically.
What?
Like sub like 40 point. It's insane how much it drops when you actually pull a little bit harder than just saying, should everybody have
I would
free
need
healthcare
citation on that big time. Like, Elizabeth Warren has openly said 2% wealth tax on any wealth above $50 million. And I haven't heard anything like any super public outcry about that. Her wealth tax that she threw out there as a specific in her like CNN town hall before the Dem debates, 2% wealth, anything 50 million or more. People have been like, yeah, because it's the asinine amount of wealth, income inequality right now in America. Like, I think it's like really obvious now. You got starvation wages, you got rent unaffordable, the housing market, housing market particularly, like, rent unaffordable in a lot of areas. Yeah, it's fucking terrible for a lot of people right now. I'm not sure if I agree with that at all. So
yeah, wait,
like, because like you're telling me now by extension that like taxing the wealthy is like with Reaganomic tax cuts, with Bush tax cuts, and now with the third compound of Trump tax cuts, that's not popular at this point. That's a lot to swallow, I'm afraid.
Well, it's not. It's just not as simple when you start asking for. If you ask the blanket question, so for instance, do you support Medicare for all, which is a system where Americans get health insurance through the government's medical system? If you ask that question, the support is 65%. But when you start suggesting like taxes or whatever, it gets like really it gets a lot more nuanced. I'll try to find this here. I'll put this in my homework, and then we can go over this later. Unless somebody chat us the link that we.
The problem is kind of the framing too, though. Like, it depends. Like, some of these polls have like the agenda to like disprove M4A versus like advocate for it. So you can frame it a really, you know, it's the same. It's like how they ask. I'm sorry. It's like how they asked Bernie about the same shit. You know, would you raise taxes in order to do Medicare for all? Yes, but it would Oh, so you would raise taxes, and they just focus on that and not the result of what that would mean. So it's like,
yeah,
you know.
So somebody linked this figure for me. This, I think, came from some of the polling that we were looking at. So like, do you favor or oppose having a national health plan, sometimes called Medicare for all? And the favor here was 56%, which is good. And then when you ask more questions, do you favor or oppose a national Medicare for all plan? If you heard that, it would do the following: guarantee health insurance as a right for all Americans, 71%. That's awesome. Eliminate all health insurance premiums and reduce out-of-pocket healthcare costs, 67%. That's awesome. Eliminate private health insurance companies, drops significantly. Although I think Bernie's plan, I don't think wants to eliminate health insurance, private health. I hear back and forth, but I don't think it does. Require most Americans to pay more in taxes, threaten the current Medicare program. I don't think it's supposed to do that either. Or lead to delays in people getting some medical tests and treatment. That's down to 26%. So I mean, like, it does change a little bit. It's kind of like the Brexit question. Some of these are where people were like, people in the UK are like, well, how many are you in favor of Brexit? And it's like, a majority was. But it's like, well, how do we do Brexit? And now nobody can agree. And the Medicare for all thing kind of works that way too, where, like a lot of people say, yeah, we should do it. But then when it comes down to like, well, how do we do it? Well, now we start to run into a lot of strange disagreements where it gets a little bit more muddy.
I don't hate to sound kind of stubborn here. I don't know if I even really like this figure you threw me right here either, actually. I feel like Perhaps we have more of a problem of low information voters who don't understand, like because when you hear things about eliminate private health insurance, like, do they know what that actually means? Like, are you happy with the
Probably
private
not.
are you happy with the current private insurer right now? Most likely you probably don't. Or if it's some
So
like workplace provided one, it's also probably giga horse shit in most situations. So it's like,
I would argue that when people say eliminate private insurance, that's like a weird Republican dog whistle, I think. When they say eliminate private insurance, what most people hear is eliminate access to your doctor. Now, Obama said that it wouldn't happen under the ACA, that you'd lose access to your doctor, although in some cases it did. But that's what I'm going to go ahead and make that guess. I can't prove that, but I'm going to go ahead and make the guess that when people hear that you'll lose your private insurance, what they're really hearing is, I'm going to lose my private doctor. So like, even if,
right,
but that's not the case all the time.
I agree with that, actually. Yeah, I think it's the easy way to misunderstand that. I could see it being a big problem here, for sure.
But like I'm just throwing this here, and again, like, I encourage you to do all your own research. So like, here's like another set of polling data as well, right? So if you scroll down here, 28% of Americans think the current healthcare system is broken and we need a completely new system, right?
Right.
39% say that it's not working well and we need to improve the system we have now. Now, this is surprising because when you hear people on Twitter talk, they usually say things like the ACA is garbage, we should have scrapped it. Biden is crazy for wanting to improve the ACA. We need to go a whole new system like Medicare for all. But that's not actually where the majority of Americans poll. Like, most of them are in favor of improving what we have now rather than scrapping everything and starting over. And then 29% of Americans still feel that the current healthcare system is good, but not perfect, and we need to continue to make improvements. So more Americans think that the current healthcare system is good than that it's completely broken. And then a plurality believe that we just need to improve like the ACA. So it's...
So, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Could we root this in an example here? Actually, what was the thing that Obama passed in his first year in office back in 2008? The economic stimulus package. Is that what it was called?
Oh, TARP. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so forgive me, I don't know anything about, I wasn't as woke back then on all this stuff here, but like, do we know how that played out? Because I feel like that's kind of like a similar, like, ambitious bill that had to, like, or let's say had to get done.
Oh wait, was it not TARP?
Fuckload of shit.
What was the name of the giant? Hold on, wait. What was the name of the giant stimulus package that Obama passed? I thought it was TARP. Was it not? What was it?
I don't remember what it was called either, actually. But I feel like that had like a fuck ton of shit of it, and I feel like in some iteration, Medicare for all would have to have like a fuck ton of shit in it as well. And
yeah, wait, hold on. Somebody just said Bush passed TARP, idiot, in your chat. I don't know who the fuck that guy is, but TARP was passed in 2009. Sorry, it's a fucking idiot. Sorry, okay, go ahead.
No, yeah, I just don't know if I feel they kind of play the same way here, because like I feel like, yeah, Medicare for all, like in its legislation form, would not be like a simple thing. It'd be a very complicated, very huge bill that would get thrown back and forth like a football or whatever. So I'm just kind of wondering, like, because you're saying, yeah, like if we want to do a more grounded solution right now, just like pimp out ACA and make it less shit rather than the scrap for M4A. But I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Wait, hold on, real quick. That guy was right, actually. TARP was passed. Was just kidding. Keep going. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act was Obama. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like, do we just know here about the economic stimulant packet? Do we know, like? I'm thinking here like of like big boy bills. I would call M4A a very radical big boy bill. So like, can we recall here the opposition? I remember this being kind of a thing here, right? Like the Republicans were actually going completely ape shit over like, oh my God, the deficit in the budget, and we can't afford the economic stimulus packet that Obama's cabinet had actually passed, or the Obama administration had passed. So I'm just wondering
the
here,
economic stimulus. TARP.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
TARP was overwhelmingly positive. Most economists believe that it was an overwhelmingly good thing for the economy. I don't think there's there might be. Is there an IMF poll on that? IMF poll on TARP. Fuck. I wish I could find. There's got to be like polling on this, but I believe like the overwhelming economic consensus is that TARP worked. Oh, not IMF, IGM poll. Yeah.
Gotcha. Am I calling it right here? The ARRA? Is that ring a bell actually?
I think that was the Obama thing, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act.
Yeah. Cut taxes by 290 billion. Spent 224 billion in extended unemployment benefits, education and healthcare. Created jobs by allocating 275 billion to federal contracts, grants, and loans. Yeah. So it's a lot of spending here. I'm more wondering less about its specifics and more about like how easy it was to pass that, because like that would kind of give me some anecdotal evidence of like maybe how M4A could play out here. Because like I'll accept your idea that like, okay, sure, yeah, M4 is going to be like a hard sell because there's going to be a fuckload of pharma money out here, pharmaceutical corruption money to like oppose its implementation or water it down so comically low that it's like it's no longer anywhere near what it could have been by comparison. So I hear you on that. I just don't know. I would need. I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not prepared here enough for the whole thing. Again, you don't have to know. It's not a big deal. I was kind of like pulling.
Yeah, I mean, like the messaging on it would be really important, and you'd probably need Democrats in the House and the Senate to do it. That would be my guess. Yeah, and then you'd have to get something more effective than the ACA passed, and the ACA is going to fail too because they pulled the mandate on that, so that shit is fucked pretty soon anyway.
Yeah. Now it's like, yeah, it's super useless now. It's Medicare right now is at an all-time uselessness low, whatever you want to call it, dude. Not good. I don't know, dude. I just feel like the public outcry is gonna be pretty big if things don't really happen. I wish we had more regular people here to tell me though. I feel like, I mean, maybe Medicare for all is not a household name now, but the general notion that it's a busted piece of shit and we need something better is a little bit more than I think. But you threw me that one poll. I don't have polls, so I don't have sources, so I can't contest it further, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so much propaganda.
But we have so much, like, the most popular GoFundMe category is medical procedures by a wide margin. There's just often medical tragedies that are just like absolutely saturated on GoFundMe's fundraiser stuff.
Super fucking. That's like some late stage capitalism shit right there. Holy
yeah,
fuck.
It's crazy. I don't know. Every other country already has. I feel like again, it's more of a case of like if people are not into it, they don't know they're into it because the misinformation is so bad right now. Like every other developed country, that's the whole thing,
and even
right?
Biden has been spreading misinformation about it too. I think Bernie threw up like a poll on his site recently because even Biden is spreading some bullshit that's like if you pass Medicare for all, it's going to destroy like the current Medicare and shit. So yeah, I mean, like a lot of people have been. There's so much bullshit. There's so much misinformation revolving around healthcare, and I don't know. That's a really complicated one. The messaging on, I think Bernie's messaging on it was really good, and it seems like a lot of Democrats have picked up, his messaging. But I mean, I feel like if we had somebody like Bernie or Elizabeth Warren in the White House, and you have, and you actually, I don't know if we can flip the Senate. I haven't looked at the electoral map at all, but like if you could get like if you could get like good control of the Senate and shit, and then you still have the House, I feel like something has to get done under the Dems. If it didn't, it would be like an electoral disaster. It would look really bad for the Democrats.
Yeah, because this was the same problem that this was a big problem in Obama's second term, right? Where it was him in a sea full of red all around at the White House.
After 2 years, yeah, holy fuck.
Yeah, it was.
He got nothing done. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be that all over again if things don't change. So I hear you on that one for sure. But yeah, I guess like just to wrap it all back to like some kind of stopping point here because I don't have any counter citation to like push this one further other than my feelings. Which don't go very far here. Justice Dems, I love what they stand for. I love the idea of fighting a clean fight and and kind of like having some kind of like weaponized messaging come into play here to like let everyone get the correct information on what things actually are rather than being fed propaganda from corrupt money sources in politics. Again, I still feel kind of iffy about the Pelosi thing just because like you seem a little tainted in your purity now, and that could
it's
be
not. So yeah, I understand the purity thing, but like, do you watch Game of Thrones?
No, we thought it was already bored. I haven't watched it yet.
There's a time when there's a guy called Braun, I think. And he fights. He's like a cutthroat, I guess, or a sellsword. He fights like real dirty, and he has a duel with a guy who's like a knight in armor. And Braun kind of like he'd be like the rogue, and the other guy would be like a knight or a paladin or some shit. He ends up beating him in the fight because he kind of plays a little bit dirty. And at the end, I think the little boy screams at him, "You don't fight with honor." And after he's killed the other guy, he's like, "No, but he did." Like at the end of the day, it's about winning seats, and it's about being politically effective. And being politically pure is good for Twitter, or it's good for the Justice Dems that are in very cozy Democrat districts will never lose their seats. But when we talk about like making real effective change on the ground, it has to be done in Congress. It's just the only way to do it. And you don't have to look at it from that way, but that's kind of the way that I look at things. And man, losing seats in Congress because you want to be, like real cool on social media, I just think is a really horrible fucking way to go about, politics. That's just how
No, you bring up a valid point. I look forward to. I'm gonna do my homework on this one, and I'll come back to you next week on this one from here. But yeah,
sure
I'm just like, ugh, yikes, man. I don't know. Maybe just because like the kind of reason I got into politics in the first place was because like whenever Jon Stewart retired from doing his whole Daily Show thing, I no longer had like the buffer of humor to like separate the actual, I don't know, like existential dread I feel in modern politics now. And then like I felt like I couldn't write to anyone because everything was like just completely bullshit until I finally heard Bernie say some things I resonated really, really well. Just genuine populist policy I thought was fan-fucking-tastic, and how things could be better. And that's kind of where I started. And that's what got me into it. So I kind of hold on to that as corny as it may sound here, hold on to that hope that things can eventually get to that point in some way. And I don't know. I feel like shooting for anything less than that is just like kind of icky to me right now. But I hear you though. I hear you loud and clear though, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So we went to something right there. Let's bring it back now. So now we if you want to go back into introductions, because I actually don't know. I don't know where you are right now. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what even the goal of your current travel trip you're currently on right now. Your extravaganza worldwide, something fest. What are you doing?
I'm traveling. I'm in Sweden. So I was in France 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, because a fan's brother invited me to a bachelor party. Or no, not to like a bachelor party / wedding. So we went to France, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. And then now we're in Sweden. I'm actually on an island now called Gotland.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like an island that floats around near Sweden, and I'm hanging out here for a few days. And then I think in 3 or 4 days, I'm probably flying back to America, and then I'll probably be back home in LA in maybe like a few days after that.
Okay, dude, tight. Yeah. Have you been enjoying it? You've been is there any like I don't know, if I wanted to live the trip through your eyes here, am I supposed to be like, is it all on your Twitter? You've been posting on IG, or like how are people keeping up with you right now?
I kind of like Instagram it, but yeah.
Okay.
I think you're probably saying, yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm actually preparing for the fight on Area 51. I don't know if you've gotten your arms ready for that.
Oh, I'm ready, dude. I've consumed the fuckload of anime, so I'm definitely ready to do the Naruto arms and run towards Area 51. I'm ready. Okay. Well, by comparison, my week has been far less eventful. I say eventful, not like it's just more of the same, really. The variety of what I've been doing is kind of low here. I've been playing a fuckload of Mario Maker. I don't know if you saw, actually, I'm getting up there now. I'm a 5K Andy every single day now. I've been the view count's been fat. I've been viral. I've been doing a better maintenance here. My YouTube's blowing up. I went from 45K subs to, I mean, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just kind of giving you like the what happened.
45K subs. Holy shit.
On YouTube. To now I'm at 88K. I'm on pace for like 100 in a matter of time if I keep grinding like I'm doing right now.
Yeah, it's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah. I found out today, actually, I completely forgot that apparently YouTube mails you a plaque if you get 100K. Did you get this plaque in question?
Supposedly. No, I think they're backed up like fucking years on that shit.
So you never got yours?
No, I think even on the million sub one, I think they're backed up on that one. Even it takes like months or years to get that point. Even I think. Yeah. That's
what I figured, dude. Oh my god, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've been grinding. I've been I like to view YouTube as kind of like feeding the beast. I'm just like, I know right now I'm in the algorithm. It's people have been telling me, so that means I need to keep doing more of what I'm doing right now. So I just like try to throw out like, I'm throwing out 2 videos a day minimum, trying to like just me and the editor are going ham all fucking time, dude, just pumping them out. I'm not getting a lot of sleep, I'm not gonna lie to you. I generally am doing like 10 to 12 hour streams, and then I'm up for another 3 to 4 hours just going through VODs, getting my editor all things he needs. Pretty much I give him so many things with timestamps to like make videos of that there's no way he can't get two minimum videos done a day. So we're doing that right now. But yeah, I've been growing on that.
What kind of videos have you been making?
Oh, great question, actually. I've been doing, so my strategy has been to try to lure them in with Mario Maker and then win them over with my personality. So I'm not doing just pure Mario Maker. I'm being unapologetically myself. So it's every day is 2 videos at least, and it's 1 gameplay and then 1 non-gameplay. So I'll do like
Okay,
one.
that's a really, really smart idea. Nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, actually, I learned all this from Mario Maker 1. Like Mario Maker 1, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I wasn't used to having an 8,000 viewer stream. I didn't know how the fuck to deal with it. I let like some one random loser in chat make my feelings get hurt, and I would be all insecure and in my feels or whatever. Now I'm a Chad and alpha as fuck, and I don't give a shit anymore. So the haters are just, whatever. Fuck them, dude. They mad because they're jealous or some shit. So yeah, I'm used to. I can react better with bigger streams now. I'm trying to do better on the understanding of the entirety of like audience expectations. So it's like if I get viewers and I only do what they want, which is I guess Mario Maker, because it's all they want is Mario Maker or whatever, then I'm never conditioning them to understand like what I'm here for. They come to the Mario Maker directory, but they're not there for me specifically. And my goal is kind of like just try to retain, even if half of that after Mario Maker 2's virality is done.
Yeah,
so
that's like the important part, is that like whatever your concurrent viewership was before, you explode using Mario Maker 2, you understand that you're probably going to lose like half that concurrent viewership, but whatever you keep from that is going to be way fucking higher than before the viral explosion. Yeah,
exactly.
that's the way to go. Yeah,
compared,
it's really
compared to your averages, not compared to your peak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Which is, again, by the way, all those things are things I learned. They're in hindsight now, they're all obvious, but these are all things I did not know. So I was like, in 2016, when I went from like 8K big dick energy to 2.5K to 2K to 1.8, and just slowly, I was freaking out. I'm like, dude, what do I do? So I kept doing. I did only more and more Mario Maker, trying to desperately retain what I had, and it was like I had the completely wrong perspective and mentality. I was insecure. I let the view count be an extension of my self-worth, which is obviously pathetic and shallow and bad. So the whole thing was just I was a mental mess back then. I'm a lot better now, but yeah, no, I do my personality. So like, I actually did a really good video on is Try Hard Racist. I think even you would actually enjoy it. Asmon Gold watched on his stream the other day, and his 25K viewers actually thought I did a really good job on it.
Nice.
So shout outs if anyone DG actually wants to talk about it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I've been blowing up on that, so I'm maintaining that. The stream, I'm grinding hard right now. I'm doing that. Fuck, man. So I've been playing a fuckload of Mario Maker. I've been literally, if I'm not streaming, I'm doing YouTube content. If I'm not doing YouTube content, then I'm asleep. That's like to give you an idea of how little I move right now. I'm on my ass in this fucking chair. 15, 16 hours a day. When I move, it's to walk my dog twice a day. Walk my dog in the morning, walk my dog at night, and that's all I do for moving. Like I have to be in the worst shape of my life, or at least worst shape of my life since having started working out in 2014.
Nice.
Like I have not been moving at all. I'm sedentary. It feels bad. What I'm doing right now, this lifestyle is very not healthy. I'm binging on caffeine and other unhealthy additives to like, well, I guess caffeine's unhealthy, but like, I didn't need caffeine when I was working out. I need it now because I'm not moving. Like I need to I gotta like get woke and fucking just keep going, just keep going, feed the beast. So
do you feel like mentally okay? Do you feel like healthy, or are you like,
yes. Okay, so the reason why I'm not anywhere near burnout is because I've had to live in hindsight since 2015. Like above everything else, dude, it felt super embarrassing that I mismanaged Mario Maker so badly that I went from an 8K viewer to sub 1K viewer stream in the matter of like a year and a half. Like clearly I did something comically like terrible on as far as management goes. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to deal with it. There was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of judgment there. At the peak of it, I was literally a top 10 streamer. Like, by November 2015, I was getting 8K a day, at peak 12K a day. So I was up there with like the top 10 on certain nights. And yeah, I crumbled. I was really insecure about a lot of things. I didn't know how to deal with it, dude. There was rampant jealousy. There was like a lot of eyes on me. Any opinion I said was like hyper scrutinized, whether it be in chat or anywhere else, or maybe on Reddit. I didn't have the healthy amount of ego to like deal with being in that level of visibility, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I'm not burnt out though. Really what it is now is I'm actually really feeling it, because before I was looking for purpose. Like I was flattered whenever you hit me up and you want to do like a podcast, because I was like, oh cool, this is a thing I can work on it. I can work on like how I present myself, and how I maybe over relied on anecdotes in the very beginning when we were talking, or how I over explained, I probably still just honestly, but over explained my positions and rambling and whatnot. We didn't have like a cohesive like back and forth banter. It was just like, you know, my monologue, then your monologue. And I caught on how to do better on the podcasting front. I think we've come a long way since 22 episodes ago. So
yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So yeah, no, I'm not burnt out because I don't have the, I'm sorry, what I was thinking here is I'm not burnt out because it's more like I want 30-hour days and only have 24. Like I'm always out of time to do the next thing. Like I'm so busy just streaming and feeding the YouTube beast that I wish I had more hours to actually like get the other things done for the stream that I want to do. So
yeah, when you there's like infinite time, or not infinite time. There's like infinite things you can fill your time with, especially when you're streaming a lot. It's really annoying. You know?
Yeah. You know, I'm trying to do some I'm trying to do some powerful stuff here, dude. Like now that I actually have like the revenue to actually like, you know, I have like the quote unquote the idea fuel. I have like the actual money to finally like do some cool shit. I want to do some cool shit, dude. I'm trying to do like my own take on not Destiny GG particularly, but like a high idea thing that separates me from other streamers that you can't get anywhere else. That I could, I mean, I don't want to derail it now if you want to talk about it, but I can.
Yeah, fucking go for it. Hit us up. Oh. Why the fuck not?
Okay, well, fuck it, dude. So the thing I got here is I'm working on this thing. I had a browser extension a while back ago. It was called My Waifu, where like all the anime loving people in my chat could just like you could it was sort of as a chat bot. You would just like, you know, you would pick your waifu and then take a picture of whatever anime girl you liked. And you'd be able to like set your waifu as whoever. Like I don't know what anime you watched or whatever, but let's just say like for example like Inuyasha. I don't know if that's one you know or not here, but like I don't know.
That's one with the guys that threw fireballs at each other, right? And to have the big spiky hair.
Damn, dude. No, but okay. Let's use a more obvious one. Let's say fucking.
No, I'm just fucking. I know Inuyasha.
You were being a fucking shitter, dude. I was like, you piece of shit, dude. I didn't know. You put me in a fucking spot, dude. I was like, fuck,
don't worry, dude. When I see Kagome on screen, my sword grows too. Okay, don't worry. I know.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So let's say that your waifu is Kagome from Inuyasha. That's your one and only. That's your first anime boner. You know, we all have it. It's not a big deal. It's totally normal, by the way.
Yep.
So what happens is like the idea behind the gimmick is that you set your waifu and you cannot change it ever again. Like once you set it, you are committed to her. That is your one and only forever, waifu or husbando, right? So whenever you set it, the idea is you get a new badge via some CSS mods in the chat. You get a new little badge, and when you mouse over the badge, kind of like, you know, the sub badge or the prime badge or the bit cheering badge or whatever, you get a new badge in chat when you install the extension. And when you mouse over it, a new menu will pop up to show you like that user's waifu, what anime series they're from, and a picture that they uploaded from like Imager of the waifu in question, and a 280 character brief summary of why, you know, of the waifu, like why they picked them and what they mean to them and why they're best girl or best guy or whatever. And that's it. And the cool thing is it works site wide. So sure, in my chat it was like, you know, everyone had a waifu or whatever, but when I'm in like Destiny's chat, you know, it's like if I see like, you know, a sea of people like, you know, whatever talking, and it's like, you know, 3 or 4 people with the badge, I'm like, oh, hey, you're a weeb. Okay, let's, you know, and you can see what they're doing and whatnot. So that's the idea. The idea is I actually like put money into this extension and I build it up further. I can then, you know, do like a database. I can then like consult when I have enough users installed. I can consult like an anime database.
Sell their emails to advertisers. I see where you're going. Trihex. Amen, brother.
Hey man, what's up, baby? I haven't even gotten to the paywall phase yet. Hang on, slow down now. But
oh shit.
But yeah, no, I want to do some cool shit, man. That really like changes the perception of the value of like a Trihex sub or even being a Trihex community member. Because I can finally do that now. So, you know, because if you, for example, if you're a Destiny sub, you know, if you're a DGGer, like it's like there's so much more to the whole thing than just being in Destiny's Twitch chat and having, you know, some badges or whatever. You know, you're obviously in the You're in the Destiny ecosystem.
You're part of the political elite, dude. You're part of the
exactly. Exactly, the whole thing.
DGG,
There's so much more to it, and I love that, and I've been wanting to do this, by the way. Like I had a way smaller version of this whole extension in 2016, but honestly, it cost too much money. Like it got to 30,000 viewers, and it was like costing me like over $100 a month to maintain. And I was like, I couldn't. I was like, what am I doing this for, dude? I can't even like, where's this going right now? I'm being throttled off of money and everything else currently. So
You know what I really want to do? Have you played any of those horrible? Fuck, I should make you mute your stream because I don't want to expose more people to this shit if they don't know it.
Okay, wait.
Have
Wait.
you ever played-
You want to mute it? I'll mute it. I won't care.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, all right.
Have you ever played a clicker game? Do you know what these are?
The point and click adventure games?
No. Like, have you ever heard of like Cookie Clicker?
No, I haven't heard of this. No.
Oh no.
Are these like gotcha games? Like, are these like those like pay to win, like infinite?
No, it's not. It's worse. You pay with time. It's even worse than money.
You pay
They're
with
called
time.
incremental games. Yeah. Basically, like, here's the thing. It'll be like, let's say you want to bake a cookies. You might click, and then after you make 10 cookies, by clicking your mouse, you can spend 10 cookies to get a grandma. And she'll make like one cookie every 10 seconds. You can keep clicking more, and then you can make 2 grandmas. And then after you've got like 20 grandmas, they're making like, one cookie or 2 cookies a second. Then you can make like a bakery, and then that'll make like 10 cookies, and you just like keep clicking. But you don't know this. Oh man, fuck, never mind. I'll link you one out.
You got me blue balled right now. Okay, so I get it. Okay, so you keep clicking to like build your resources, and you have resource building resources, and then you have like a factory that's assembling resources, and then what?
Yeah, and you keep clicking more. Well, eventually the goal is you don't click eventually, but you have to get so many. It's horrible, dude. Oh my god. But anyway, I wanted to build one of these for my chat. I'm still like, it's like an idea.
Oh, that's the okay. I was like, where's this going? Like, I don't understand the whole point. You build it for your chat. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but apparently they're like waifu clickers too. There's like a million different types of clickers, but
Well, so like the end game I have with the whole idea of the extension is that like it'll give like weebs, like it'll be the official like weeb extension and ambassadorship to like lead to like healthier Twitch chats because people will be able to know more about each other just by if they love anime or whatever.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea because then you could make an attachment to go alongside it, which would be the auto block list, so that anybody that has a fucking weeb shit fucking plugin automatically gets muted, and then you have made Twitch a better place. Amen, Trihex. I fucking like it.
All right, so you're being a shitter right now, or maybe you're not actually. You weeb hating asshole, but. I do hear me out though. Okay, what I do want to do is I want to have waifu gangs within there. Like I want to completely rewrite like the sociologic paradigm within Twitch. Can you imagine what you can do if you can go in a Twitch chat and you can immediately see sorted by anime series whose waifus are from what series? Like you can immediately know all the Sailor Moons, all the Inuyashas, all Dragon Ball Z's or whatever. Like you can immediately like. You could innovate your ship posting. You can say like, fuck all the DBZ, waifus out here. They're all trash can. You can spam.
There's already like really big associations of like anime fans. So how are you going to compete with these?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, have you ever heard of Nambla?
No. Is that a Twitch thing or whatever? Like, dude, what do you?
I'm so sorry. I don't know. Okay. It's pedophiles. I'm just fucking with you. I'm sorry. Listen, anime fans have been fucking my life up. Fuck these guys, okay? I'm sorry, Trex. I love you and you're pure. You do you, okay? I actually think, I'm sorry. I'm being condescending right now because I'm memeing about anime, but it's actually a really good idea. I think it'd be really sick if you were actually able to get this like popular throughout Twitch and that people like recognize each other in chats for this shit. I think it'd be really good. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's what I like about it too is like it goes back to the whole idea of like, right now I'm a known Mario Maker player or whatever, and maybe like because I'm the tryhard mode or whatever like that, and maybe because of my personality over time here, but right now is the most important time to differentiate myself as much as possible from every other Mario Maker player to like legitimize the longevity of the sustainability of my current virality. So there's a lot of words right there. So yeah, if I'm known as like daddy anime of Twitch, then I think it's a fuck it. Yeah, I will happily take that mantle. So
all right, cool.
5 head in chat. Let's just make it happen. So that's the exciting thing I've been working on there, or that's the exciting thing I'm working on right now. But that's also like this requires like meetings and a bunch of other shit. I'm working with some like web dev staffs to like get some contractors and all that and get the shit popping. But yeah, but back to the topic here though, the introductions here. That has been my week. It's been mostly I'm blowing up. I'm viral right now. I'm trying to keep it going. I'm just working really fucking hard to do my thing. And I'm trying to convert them into lifelong fans, hopefully.
Amen, brother.
Because I would like streaming to be I would like full-time streaming to be as sustainable as possible. So I'm all for growth there. Like I'm not particularly, if I'm trying to be honest, I'm not particularly in streaming like for the money. I don't think really anyone is. I think if you come in with that kind of attitude, like I want to be the next ninja and make like like whatever 5 million a year or whatever. I don't know what the fuck he makes actually, but like. you know, I'm just team like keep it sustainable. I want to like not, you know, fall apart. I mean, my chat's capping right now, but y'all, like I was a sub 1K Andy, and that shit, you know, at that point you don't have the visibility on Twitch to really like I don't know, keep any kind of sub count stable. I would say, you know, those primes and gifts are a lot of really flaky bloat that doesn't give you a legitimate number of what you're gonna make end to end. So yeah. You know, if Chad doesn't agree with that one, then I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, I don't know, if I'm wrong there, then fuck it, dude. Hop in the ring and bot me then. Shit, show me what's good. It's all y'all know. Since all of y'all are now professional backseat, deep analyst streamers and all that. Okay. But yeah, that's what I'm on lately here. So I'm just keeping my grind up right now. Let's see here. The another topic I got for you though. Actually, can we we've already killed an hour, by the way. I was worried we weren't gonna be able to fill an hour today.
Yeah, dude, we got all sorts of hot topics. Yeah, did you hear about that girl that got fucking her throat cut by the crudery stalker dude?
A little bit, yeah. I didn't see the pic, so let's rewind back here. Yeah, so there's a very. Do you know her name? Do you know anything about Bailey?
It's Bianca or something.
Bianca,
right?
Yeah, Bianca. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I think the story was basically that she had there was like a guy that she was like friends with. It wasn't like a total stranger stalker because apparently the family knew the guy. There was like a guy that she was friends with, and I don't know if this guy got like jealous or something over her not dating him. Mm-hmm. And basically, yeah, he went over and he like cut her throat open. I think he was trying to kill himself, but then the police got to him. He posted pictures of him killing the girl online, mm-hmm. and I guess some other fucked up dude like masturbated to the pictures and then sent it to the girl's mom. It's like super fucked up.
See, but yeah. I understood it as the murderer himself took pictures and then masturbated to it, and then
I thought that initially, but a lot of people were saying that wasn't the case. Yeah.
Okay, okay, I wouldn't know then. I read like one secondhand account of it happening the night it happened, and I was like, okay, this is pretty terrible. I don't know. I just didn't have enough time to like look further into it. I wanted to kind of like fall asleep, so I ended up like not looking further into it. Yeah, it's terrible. But so what I heard too was also that it was a Discord meetup. I didn't know the part about the fact that that the family knew the murderer person, but like that the initial agreement to meet up was like organized over Discord, and then from there, so it's kind of like a Discord meet, which is kind of sketch in the first place. And that yeah, upon the confirmation that like, you know, she was already dating someone, or she was gonna go to like X thing with another person, not him. You know, he went to like some kind of like super toxic jealousy rage thing, and ultimately did what he did, which is pretty terrible. What's really big here too is the fact that, you know, I think the age is really important to bring up here, because she was what, she was 17 or 16, and he was and he was 17 or 18, like, yeah, super young. Fucking hell, dude. Yeah, it's tragic all around. Yeah, I don't know. I want to read further. I kind of want to do a thing on it more.
People on my chat are saying that he was 21 and the girl was like 17 or something. Yeah.
Okay, all right. No, even more gross. The guy was actually older. As in like he had should have had like more years of wisdom to like compute not to do that kind of thing. Yeah. I wish I don't have more here to really say. It's fucking terrible. Toxic masculinity is a real problem. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Objectification of women. Entitlement. It's just there's a lot going on right there. But I don't know enough about this situation for this person in particular, nor for me to like dive into like specifics about. I mean, clearly, yeah, we need to stop this kind of thing from happening. But the specifics so we can like, you know, bring into like a, you know, can do further prevention attitude about particularly the angle this guy came from. So, yeah, if you don't have
what's next?
If you don't have more there, then we can, because that was kind of like the one I'm sorry, I didn't have that one prepared actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was bad and you shouldn't murder people, so that's all I got from that one. What's next?
Yeah, right. So the next one here I got for you is well, Destiny, from what I understand, you didn't stream Monday and Tuesday, did you?
I didn't stream Monday.
I'm sorry, and but you
did stream... who's in there just fucking up? Wait, whoa, hello? Oh, you just came back.
No, I'm here. I never dropped.
Wait,
sorry.
Okay, what did you say?
I said so you streamed Tuesday?
I've been trying to stream at least 2 hours every day. I think I've missed like 1 or 2 days since I started traveling, but I've been trying to stream like 2 hours every day. I'm sorry,
Mm.
in France it was horrible. I had no internet, but yeah, I've been streaming. I think. Why? What's
Okay,
up?
you know, because I'm making. I don't know if you're part of this here or not. We got the next topic is the Amazon Prime Day strike versus protest. I want to get in this with you
Oh,
actually. So,
yeah, I streamed through all of that shit, but Bernie did too, so I feel okay.
wait, what about Bernie?
Bernie streamed too, so
So the idea here, there was an organization, I believe via one of the Amazon distribution warehouses, where they were going to do a planned coordinated strike because they want, because of worker conditions and pay and some other stuff here. Amazon treats their warehouse workers like shit. They had to get shamed by the Stop Bezos Act that was like co-drafted by Bernie Sanders in order for Amazon, the company, in order to like finally have like the quote unquote courage to finally award the workers $15 an hour, which is still comically terrible for a company that's that powerful. And even then, the pay raise came with like a cut and quite a few benefits for them as well, including some limited stock options, if I recall correctly. But so I don't know if there was other protests elsewhere. I believe I heard it was another one as well via like UPS. I could be wrong on that though, but particularly it was an Amazon distribution warehouse where the strike was coordinated to just kind of like halt all the shipping stuff that was going on from Amazon from their success of their previous Prime days on this year's Prime Day. And this goes extended further here into where it's relevant to this topic right now, because by extension, there was some advocacy via, political Twitter to also strike any Amazon ecosystem associated products, including namely Twitch, to not stream on Twitch and not use Twitch on Prime Day, Monday and Tuesday. And it was like, okay, well, so now we're going from the strike into the protest here. And it was kind of a murky thing because people were asking me on Sunday if I was going to stream on Monday, and I was like, from the very jump, I was very upfront about it. I was like, I probably come off as kind of like a hypocritical piece of shit right now, but yeah, I worked really hard.
damn.
I worked really hard to get this streak right now, and
Can we change the title to Trihex? Fuck all Amazon workers. Oof.
bro, I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, fuck, you got me, dude. Like, what am I gonna say right here about this whole thing, dude? Like, anonymous workers who I don't know personally, who for a company that I am contracted via, I'm not even a direct employee of. I'm gonna stop streaming while other streamers continue to stream. I literally lose my streak and my clout and my momentum I have here in order to do what? Protest in like in isolation? Am I gonna fly over to Tennessee overnight and be on the front picket line? And then not
heard 'em, guys.
and then not live stream the protest to raise awareness here? Like, wouldn't I do better to stream on Monday and raise awareness of the strike? That way, if you can do something about it, you can get involved or whatever. Like,
How much time did you spend talking about the strike on that stream, Trihex?
about on Sunday about an hour, and then on Monday maybe about like 30 or 40 minutes, because by that point people were kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I made a compelling argument about like what they were doing, because ultimately, like, yeah, you're mad that I'm streaming on this day, but here you are watching me on Twitch, mister. I'm boycotting Twitch right now. So
Ooh, maybe they were ad blocking though, Trihex.
and then what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna like get off the internet because half of the internet's powered by Amazon Web Services, AWS. So what are you gonna do then? Are you just gonna like get off the internet in its entirety? And also that if you support, or if you have a problem with the morality and the labor, the exploitation of the labor that Amazon does that mean you also oppose Walmart and the tomatoes harvested for the plant, or for the burgers that are made by Wendy's? And I can go on here honestly, but you get the idea. Like, you're just gonna like not consume anything and not go to any corporation because they're all amoral piles of shit. Like, you're just gonna like move to a fucking some isolated like island like you are right now.
Where was this pragmatic Trihex earlier? We were talking about the Justice Dems.
Well, it's like this isn't. What are you gonna do? You're gonna do a 2-day strike on the most powerful corporation in the world. And then you're going to like, and then the minute Wednesday morning hits, you're gonna like immediately untuck your boner and fucking nut all over the internet and all the Amazon products you inevitably are gonna consume. Like,
I think the idea was supposed to be that the Amazon Prime Day is an important day for Amazon. So if you boycott them on that important day, it sends a strong message because you vote with your wallet, right?
Yeah, that's the idea anyway. But it felt like it was more, it felt cannibalistic to me. And again, I'm openly admitting that I could come off as hypocritical here on this hardcore, obviously, because it's in my self-interest here. But I just wonder, like, I guess the problem is, like, how many people are willing to take a voluntary day off with all the consequences of doing so without pay to then help, I don't know, to like then help, I don't know, like what, IRL strangers in some like non-direct way. You know, I don't know.
Well,
like
the idea is that like we take a day off without pay because one, we make money when we don't stream because we get passive income via YouTube and subs. And that two, that the people that we're taking a day off to help are people that literally don't even have the option to take a day off, right? These are people that are barely making ends meet. And if they were to take a day off, they would start missing bills or some shit. But I mean, that's kind of what the strike was for, right?
Yeah, strike versus the protest is kind of what I was getting at there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I made my points in my chat, and then people were kind of like lolling at it a little bit there, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I feel like one, I didn't share from the topic here, so I'm live today. Consequences be damned, but I'm open to talk about it further. And yeah, we kind of did. So I don't know. Like, what's your take on it? Then I guess you're like,
oh, I don't know enough to give a fuck about it. I don't even know how I feel about any of that shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look way more into it to care enough to actually go on fucking strike. Admittedly, it would have been easy for me to do it.
You're gonna rip me down, and then you just
Well, because I wasn't the one an hour ago. Because your chat could be like, "Yeah, fuck Destiny," but that's the same shit they said an hour ago. But I was the one an hour ago being like, "Well, the ideological purity of our votes are important over any type of political process." But then you're like, "Yeah, you know, homie, listen, I'm gonna get paid. I'm gonna get paid if I stream on these 2 days. I got some Mario Maker to play, motherfucker. I can't go on strike." That's I mean, that's why I'm roasting you over it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I don't know how I feel about the whole Amazon Pay shit. I just haven't dug into it enough.
Mm-hmm. I guess the idea there is like is it how effective would it have been though? Like, so I asked the people in my chat, like, okay, let's play over here, right? So the idea is that I don't stream, and then I don't stream about the fact that I'm not streaming, and then I just like I just complain on Twitter because I'm not gonna fly overnight to Tennessee to like go protest at the factory or the warehouse, like.
I mean, if people on Twitch wanted to do it, I think there would have been some really cute ways to effectively organize it. But just not streaming was kind of I hate the term virtue signaling, but like it was just kind of like showing people that you were a good person. But like for instance, like a much better way to effectively organize it would have, and you could probably think of a million ways to do it. But like one thing that would have been really cool is to have message like all of the political streamers, maybe so like you, me, Hassan, and anybody else that does shit. Like maybe you try to rope in a couple of bigger streamers, and then have all of us stream for like 24 hours, but the stream is just like you open the stream, you turn it on, and it's just like a slate that like directs people to like a website, like, hey, here's where the Amazon worker strikes are doing, like go check that out or whatever. Like that would have been like that would have been like on all the streams, so that if people, so that you're actually raising awareness, because when people go to click and watch the streams, a lot of people would see that slate, they'd be like, oh wait, what the fuck, what's going on? And then people would go over and they would, you know, research what's going on. That would have been a better way to organize, I think, that rather than like, because right now what happened is people would probably just watch other streams. We're just like, oh, I wonder why they're not streaming today. I'll go watch somebody else, you know?
That's a fair point.
Oh yeah, especially because like boycott streamers apparently just streamed on YouTube. So then, oh, I don't even know that. Wait, who did that? Yeah, like if you just go stream on YouTube, what's the point of your thing at all? Then I don't even know.
Yeah, right. It's just like that's why I felt it was kind of like weird that you're just like you're gonna be off the internet and off of AWS stuff until Wednesday, and then you're just immediately right back on there anyway. But you bring up a point that actually would have been really cool. I didn't really know what to do other than like, I guess I was kind of put in a really hard spot ultimately. Like if I had a stabilized view count, then maybe, but because I'm still growing right now, I'm trying to like maximize what I can retain. Yeah. I admit I'm a little bit self-centered in that regard. I'm all for, you know, doing what I can to help the workers out, but the one thing I didn't want to do was stop streaming. If there was a way for me to support without not streaming, then yeah, I would have did it. But it seemed like everything was going to be a protest, so I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Well, you got me in a hard spot right now. Because, you know, it's not like, and here's the bigger thing here too, it's like, it's not like my competition is going to like not stream on Monday and Tuesday, right? You know, the other Mario Maker streamers or whoever the cross traffic of mine may be or whatever, they're all going to stream. I can't imagine how many people are politically savvy and are going to like, you know, because if you're
okay, hold on. Can I roast the fuck out of you without you hating me? Are you gonna hate me?
Oh, no.
I don't want to Hassan you. Okay, I love you, Trihex. I like talking to you, but like technically everything you're saying would have made this the best time for you to go on strike, right? Like because you actually would have had like a little bit of something to lose. You actually would have had like the idea that like so like for instance like me going on strike for those 2 days would have been like a really funny meme because I'm only streaming 2 hours a day anyway because I'm already like out and about. Like I'm not gonna like I would actually even if I wasn't streaming, I probably would have tweeted something saying like by the way I'm not streaming because I'm like busy. It has nothing to do with the strike because I would have felt bad because like I'm not fucking going on strike. I don't want credit for that. But like I mean I feel like the times where you actually have something to lose, which let's be real, as streamers we don't even really have much to lose, right? Are like the times when you're when you actually your views like actually meet the metal. Like do you actually believe in what you say, or are you just kind of like talking about it online because this is what sounds good right now and you kind of believe it, but when you're actually when push comes to shove you're not ready to like stand by your beliefs like in a more difficult way. So I don't know. I think that like if this is something you feel like really big on, like the Amazon worker strike, I think there's probably even though you are growing right now, like it would have been like a good time to show like, hey, even though I'm growing a lot, even though I got a lot of shit going on, I'm going on strike for these 2 days because I want to show solidarity with the Amazon workers, and you guys should check out like their cause or whatever, right?
Debatably, but like, I had a point here about that. Debatably, I don't know though. I guess it's also there's a lot of emotions on mine here too because I mean it's a very emotional thing for me because this is like I'm for once correcting the thing that I've been regretting in hindsight for such a long time now, which is the management of my stream and the content I'm producing when I am viral. I did a terrible job in 2015. I had to like live with that for a very long time, and I'm finally like back on correction course now, and then an unforeseen thing has got me like this point. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I openly again admit here that self-interest and potentially hypocritical conclusions here are where I'm at with the whole thing. But I don't know. It's just it's such a huge variable though. Would it have worked well? I mean, sure, I had stakes there, but I don't fucking know. I don't know. I can't say really.
Okay.
It seems like seems like a risk. It seemed like a risk that I was like not really eager to take.
Yeah. All right, what's our next topic?
The next one here was so do I want to? I guess I want to name drop here. It's a public tweet, so it's fine. Summit had a pretty out there take with the Scarlett Johansson statement she made earlier this week. Scarlett Johansson, from what I recall here, said that she has the right to depict anything she chooses to do her job, whether it be an animal, a tree, or a transsexual. Sorry, transsexual? I'm sorry, trans person, I'm sorry. Fuck am I even saying right now? Do you have have you read the tweet in question? Or would you like me to read it out loud or like?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I read it. I caught up on this like 2 days ago. I was really tired.
Okay, let me I'm gonna grab your mic.
This is like, what's your take on it? Let's hear it. Go for it. This is a really complicated one, I think.
Oh no, for sure. Let me real quick here. Let me just grab where the fuck did I put this at? Okay, here we are. So someone said here, just got done arguing with my girlfriend and her friends over this stupid Scarlet shit. I'll never understand the other side of this argument. I'm blown away. So the other side, I guess, being the side that's advocating for like genuine representation, or just representation or diversity and representation in the medias, because again, it was Scarlett Johansson, who's not trans, depicting a trans person for a movie or a role, whatever, right? And so the first thing I did there was I quoted, and I kind of like wanted to reframe the argument because like he had trouble understanding perhaps what his girlfriend was saying. So I don't know what she said because again, he kind of just tweeted that out in isolation. So I tried to summarize it and kind of say that like Scarlett Johansson technically has the right. I agree with that, has the right to depict whatever she wants, but you have to admit here that being gay or being LGBTQ in Hollywood, you get a lot less opportunities open to you. So whenever the top heavy are able to just like kind of acquire whatever they want, there kind of becomes a problem here with like the legitimacy of the depiction of the things that are happening on screen to an extent, and that there's not equal opportunity anywhere near that right now, whether it be in the MCU with their comical attempt to have like, I don't know, a gay person in their recent films, up into the fact that those suited in power can just continue to like monopolize everything. You know, the whole idea of the complication with like with Scarlett Johansson depicting Motoko and Ghost in the Shell from that anime film was the fact that it wasn't like a Japanese woman who played it. It was her. And the idea other than that is the fact that because there's no bankable, you know, we need Scarlett Johansson, we need a bankable actress to let this film have the minimized risk to have the production be worthy of $100 million budget. Without Scarlett Johansson involved, I don't have that name power to draw in for the film. Therefore, I don't want to do a $100 million film. I only want to do like a $30 million film if I'm gonna give you like an Asian actress. And the problem there is if you continue to give, you know, all the established actors and actresses, you know, all the roles, no matter what, then there will never be, you know, there never's going to be a bankable Asian actress, I would say. I mean, you try to think about one right now here, so it's like not really there. You know, you think about Lucy Liu, you think about the girl from Pacific Rim. There's just not a lot of Asian actresses, I think, that are like, you know, household names in North America altogether here. And I think that's honestly a problem. And that problem honestly feeds itself here because you want bankable actresses and you never get the opportunities for the other ones to grow and develop genuine to the films. It just continues to go on and over again. So but I did clarify here though that I'm not for like standardized diversity. I'm not for like force injecting diversity as a checkmark list. And I do think the idea that you see some diversity being done for the sake of like political points on some kind of capitalistic scale is kind of like insincere to say the least. But I can kind of understand people coming from here whenever they're mad about, you know, why can't you just get like a talented trans person, actor or actress to depict the trans person you want in the film you want. I don't see why you're going for a cis woman, I guess. Sorry if that was kind of wordy there, but that's
there are like so many different parts of this to like unpack and so many different ways you can go. You covered a few of the areas. Here's like a couple of questions you just throw out, the things that I think are funny. A lot of people say that trans women or trans people should just be considered the gender that they identify with. So for instance, we shouldn't call you a trans woman. We should just call you a woman, right? We shouldn't have this like this trans thing in terms of referring to people, at least at a social level, is just kind of like unnecessary. And it just seeks to kind of otherize trans people. If you believe that, does it hurt your cause at all when you say, well, hold on, a cis woman can't play a trans woman. We need a trans woman to play a trans woman. Do you think that plays against your messaging at all? Like, well, what do you mean by that? Are you saying there's like a fundamental difference between a trans woman and a woman? Now, obviously there is in terms of like how society treats people and whatnot. Like that's true, but
well,
you know, I'm not.
So okay, so again, I would encourage you to actually read the thread that I put there because I didn't really have a strong stance. I wasn't really hardcore on that. Like Scarlett Johansson's in the wrong. I agree she has a right. It's more that. Because I can also agree with you too, the fact that like, okay, so if you say that if someone's in transition, they're fixated on the end result of what they want to be their perceived gender as, not really the state they're currently in as being in transition. So it's like, do you celebrate the transition, which is not probably what their intention is in the first place here, by giving them that role? I can understand that angle as well here from that whole point. Just more that the thing I am hardcore on is that there is a representation problem in Hollywood production films, and that
for sure.
This is a symptom of that by extension. What to do about it and where to go with it is complicated, obviously.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think this is like a really hairy issue, and I can see like really insane like arguments on both ends. Do you think, for instance, Brokeback Mountain was wrong because they didn't have gay actors playing the cowboys?
This is a good question, actually. I haven't really given it much thought because that was like a 2006 film, and I don't think I was like anywhere near woke on these kind of issues back then. But but I guess in modern context now, no, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, so this is kind of like a similar thing here. But then on the flip side, also, like if you do have trans people, like if they were ever going to get like a lead role in a movie, this is probably a really good one for it to come up on. And I don't even know if there are there. I don't even know if there are A-list or B-list trans actors. I'm not sure right now. So this would have been like a really good way to do it. But yeah, I don't know. This is really complicated. I almost think I think you should fucking do whatever you think is right, because I can see this one going either way. This is a really, really hard one. Yeah.
Yeah. I also clarify too. I'll see if I can say this for you as well here. So Summit like replied. I did like a 6-part tweet, like kind of going into. I don't know if you want to like getting out to read it now. I'll just throw it. I'm just gonna throw it in your chat and my chat. This was the initial the initial 6-part tweet of me just trying to better explain the opposition of Summit's take, because I felt like Summit's take here, which I didn't tell you that yet, was that it's just a fucking movie, and what's the problem here? Why can't the really good actress, who's obviously top at what she does, get the role? Shouldn't the one most qualified and best with the best resume and presentation not achieve and score the job or whatever, right? Very, very, very surface level take there, obviously. So I was like, yeah, I feel like Summit's take here is the one that most are probably going to take or conclude with. So I just wanted to like help frame what his girlfriend maybe was talking about, because he looked genuinely lost. So I didn't go in there to clap anyone. I just wanted to kind of come in and like say maybe I can come in and like neutralize the situation a little bit more here. Now, the thing though is that again, there's a part 2 here where I reply to all of the replies from Summit once I make my statement there. And the one part I will say here I'm pretty happy with is I clarified that there is an issue with oversensitivity towards representation. For example, the guy who plays Walter White, Bryan Cranston, right? He played a disabled, wheelchair-equipped character in a movie in the beginning of this year called The Upside. It's him and what's his name?
Hart.
And Kevin Hart. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, you saw the trailer probably then. Yeah. And there was outrage because they didn't get like a genuinely disabled person, and it's like, to me that's comical, because it's like, well, one, obviously Bryan Cranston's incredibly talented. Clearly you haven't watched any of his work here. He's very qualified for what he can do here. 2 is that unlike LGBTQ, who I feel do get discrimination because their existence is not debatably normalized by proper representation in the media, I feel like handicapped people don't get discriminated against generally. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like that's not really the case.
I would be real careful on that one.
Well,
living your life in handicapped ways,
tweeted it out,
like
so it's already out there now.
Bunch of shit. Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah, there's like handicap discrimination, especially depending on the type of handicap you have, can be. There's so much disability shit that like there's a whole world that most people don't see when it comes to like, even if it's like browsing the internet in a way that makes your disability not destroy your ability to do it, or navigating in certain like environments. Man, there's so much that goes into that. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, actually no. Apparently I'm getting dumpstered by now on both chats here. So I guess in my head I thought, okay, like if you're in a wheelchair, no one's gonna know. Like, are people picking on people in wheelchairs? That's what I'm getting at there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I would say so. Like even things that we take for granted. Like imagine like how difficult it would be. Guys already complain about going on Tinder and shit. Imagine trying to date a girl when you're in a wheelchair. Imagine trying to like start a life with somebody and you have to open every conversation with, or they see you and you're like, oh, by the way, I can't fucking walk. Right? Like, oh man, dude, yeah. Or you're every day in terms of having to go to work, the types of vehicles that you have to buy, these like $20,000 mods you have to get on a van to go like in and out of a vehicle. Like there's so much shit that goes into being, into having a wheelchair full time. Yeah, it's a lot. Having to call for special people to help you on and off planes. Like there's a lot of shit that goes into all of that. Yeah.
Oh, they definitely have a harder life here. But I guess I was particularly thinking of like, I guess discrimination, not hardships. What you're describing sounds like hardships more than discrimination. Like I don't know, I've never seen, and again, I'm gonna be on anecdotal Andy here, but like I've always helped anyone I felt needed help, whether it be like, I don't know, I can't imagine the situation where I ever didn't help any handicapped accessible person to, if they ever needed help or look like they needed help.
Oh, you mean just in terms of like people like openly shitting on like handicapped
people? Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you're making it seem like I'm talking about like that. Yeah, clearly I don't know what bullying happens or whatever, but like I don't know, never. You got to be like a pretty big dick to want to just like throw like your juice box on some person because they're like handicapped, whatever.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'm pretty sure that's true. Yeah.
And again, particularly here, I was talking about the disabled when it came to wheelchairs because of what Bryan Cranston was talking about here. I guess well, before I continue on that one, though, like, do you find it's a problem? Was it a problem that a non-wheelchair person depicted a wheelchair disabled person? Clarify also, by the way, he wasn't mentally disabled. It was just purely ableist, like you just couldn't walk.
I don't think.
Because I know what the proper term is.
I don't want to say yes because like I feel like you go down a really weird road if you concede that. Like should the Joker and the Batman films only be played by somebody with like a mental disability? I don't know. That just feels. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like actors should be able to play whatever, but I feel like we should also kind of be like conscientious of like I think that these are just two separate views or two separate topics that aren't related to one another. Like, I think that we can increase the representation that we have in media, but that doesn't necessarily mean that certain figures have to be cast by other people. Like, I think it's simultaneously okay to say we should have more A-list trans actors, but that doesn't mean that every single movie or any movie with a trans person necessarily should be played by a trans actor. I think maybe that would be the view that I would try to walk.
Yeah,
that
you know what? I would, if I can refine my statement here a little bit more here, I would say that, yeah, I'm big time team diversity and representation if it means less discrimination against every group that gets depicted as such. Like, I would like to see the normalization of trans persons or disabled people. You know what I mean? So that way ultimately the discrimination factor would be as close to zero as possible by their existence being normalized rather than like the outlier or exception.
Sure.
So I mean, I know it's like a you know, fairyland dust like scenario, but you know, if we can get as close to that as possible, I'd be down for it. You know, I'm all for, you know, team 0% racism or as close to it as possible. I don't want to. I'm not status quo with the existence of 1% racism. I'd like it to be 0. So that's kind of where I am with it now. But again, I would clarify here again. If you read the tweet, I don't have a hard stance. It's not like I say, you know, I don't want Scarlett Johansson to actually like do her thing. I just reframe Summit's girlfriend's argument that I assumed, and I only have like one tweet saying that I'm against the authoritative whatever, like execution of diversity. Like, I'm not saying, you know, black person here, a gay person here, handicapped person here. Like, I'm all for organic representation with just better opportunities altogether here. So but yeah, that's that. I mean, there's some other things in here, like a couple of like things that someone replied. I try to, like, you know, he tried to equate, like, you know, tried to equate being gay with being a firefighter. It was kind of like a bad take in my opinion. And I had to like kind of and that, like, if you just have the same opportunities, like or that everyone has the same opportunities already, just that, you know, like, I don't know why trans can't get the job or whatever. I don't know why they can't get the job or whatever. And it's like, well, the opportunities aren't really there. I mean, when you got people in institutionalized power, like, you know, like Harvey Weinstein or any of the other like Me Too incidents here, yeah, I'm not surprised that you know, if women alone are being held with all kinds of like unaccountable baggage in order to like get the roles they want to, I can only imagine the discrimination that comes elsewhere in other forms altogether.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I would encourage you to read that if you get a chance.
Okay.
So so there was that, and then well, actually we're almost done. We actually have like 15 minutes left here. Beyond that, the last thing I had for you was that you put in here was the Trump racist tweet, which sadly I'm not super in the know about, actually, because I've been on Planet Mario.
It's like it's like par for the course. I'm not even like surprised by it anymore. I don't know what this. I mean, obviously it's horrible. I think some of the data that came out was that Republicans just didn't really give a fuck either. So it's not like it actually hurt them or anything.
Oh yeah, you know, one thing I did see, dude, is Mitt Romney was a total fucking cuck, dude. He wouldn't even admit it was racist. Like, he was like, I gotta go. Like, he was being interviewed about it, and he said like he kind of gave like a super cuck centrist reply about it.
Yeah, I saw him running away from.
Yeah, he literally like ran away from the reporter whenever she asked him like directly, was it racist? And he's like, oh well, that's all the time I got, and just like, you know, that's all, folks, and then ran away. It was like super terrible.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but supposedly Trump support increased after those tweets. So, man, what are you gonna do?
Supposedly, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really have much to say about it, honestly. But I mean, Trump treats, I don't know, racist, bigoted garbage all fucking time. Nothing really new there.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, that's really all there. I didn't get to catch the Congresswoman's like conference that happened apparently yesterday, so I don't know how that went either. I saw a couple of tweets back and forth about the whole thing here, but I don't know, just the idea that I guess I'll just go into like why it's problematic, I guess, because Trump said that the Congresswoman should go back to the country they're from. 3 of the 4 that you can assume he's targeting here are actually from United States. Only Ilhan Omar is not from USA. And yeah, it's just incredibly racist. Get out of my country. You don't like it, get out. That's like it's a great argument, apparently. So
Yeah, and supposedly, wait, I didn't actually follow the story, but Pelosi apparently got removed from Congress for the day because she actually defended them and called Trump racist. So
okay, well that's good.
there you go.
Look at Pelosi doing some good in the world.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. I mean, so there's that. I mean, I don't know what more we can really go into further here. I'm gonna prepare for I'll prepare some Pelosi stuff for next week to get into this whole thing here because I got a lot of claims I want to challenge here, but I have to come in with some more heat for you.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there really? I'm sorry.
Apparently the impeachment resolution got tabled. So.
Oh, we can talk about actually. This is news from this morning. Someone leaving this here. Apparently the do I have this over here? Where was that? Apparently Rand Paul shot down the 9/11 first responders Medicare provision bill. Did you hear about this actually?
Wouldn't surprise me. Doesn't he try to be like a libertarian or whatever?
Yeah. Oh, the budget. Yeah.
President.
Senator from New York.
Yeah, austerity.
Rand Paul blocks Senate from approving 9/11 victim compensation fund. What do you say here? I'm just like, wow, dude, really? Senator Rand Paul on Wednesday blocked an attempt by Democrats to pass an extension on the September 11 Victim Compensation Act. It quote unquote here. It has long been my feeling that we need to address our massive debt in the country, and therefore any new spending should be offset by cutting spending that's less valuable. We need to at the very least have this debate. And it's like, oh, so right now it's about money right now. I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure Johnson's going to be incredibly livid on that one, dude. Like, if not for the 9/11 victims, then who, dude? Like,
yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Oh,
he's like a libertarian dude. He takes after his dad. Like,
I mean, but dude, like, bro, how do you sleep at night, man? Like, if not for them, then who, dude? Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get it. I'm pretty confident he opposed both wars. But like
he should, but he probably approved the tax cuts because it's consistent with a libertarian position.
Yeah.
So he'd be anti-imperialist, but he'd be pro whatever cuts taxes, even if he doesn't cut spending with it. But yeah, technically a tax cut is more or less the same as a spending increase.
Right.
So if you're in favor of a tax cut, shouldn't that also be coupled with a spending decrease? But it wasn't for the Trump tax cuts. But yeah, whatever.
It's sad, dude. It's sad. And it's not like by the way, it's not like they're dying, swiftly and painless. No, they're dying in very agonizing, slow, deteriorated ways. Lung cancer, those what was it? The steel that they had to ingest on the ground zero floor. It's just dude, yeah, they're the difficulty breathing and coughing. It's the whole thing is really, really bad, dude.
Yeah.
You look back on the I want to say when the first responder medical treatment act was initially drafted, and it had like the sunset clause where it expired, and they had to like campaign to get it renewed, and Johnson had to embarrass everyone by having them on to talk about how you say 9/11 never forget, but then our heroes who were there on ground zero, like no questions asked, safety compromised and be damned, you're not there for them right now. It's just crazy thing about how many of them, died because they did not get adequate health care between that bill extension and the next one. Yeah,
it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible, dude. So I don't know, dude. I haven't read the reply to this one yet, but that has me absolutely livid, dude. Yeah, that's what I got for you there. What if you have nothing else beyond that, what are you gonna do today? You gonna go to bed after this?
I'll probably go out and hang out with people for a little bit, but otherwise, yeah, probably sleeping pretty soonish.
Okay. I mean,
I'm probably gonna talk to Hutch for a few minutes after this, and then, but yeah.
Okay. Do you find like being out late at night in Sweden is like different than like I don't know, I'm kind of asking a pretty loose question here. Do you find it's like different than going out at night in USA?
I don't go out much, so I wouldn't really be able to say. The sun is finally setting here, though. It's really weird for the past like week. Like the sun almost like never fucking sets here, so that was like really fucking my sleep up. But
So is it because of like you didn't have like a really like thick curtain to block the sunlight or whatever, or just like you feel like you're?
Oh yeah, the places I slept seemed to have, except for there's one place I was at where I could block the sun. It was so good, but yeah.
How's the food been?
It's Swedish food. Yes. No.
that sounds like a negative, dude. Like,
it's not bad, but it's just like the coolest thing about Europe is there are like bakeries everywhere. So if you ever want like croissants and shit, like it's like super fucking awesome. But
is it true the portions are like really? Is the EU portion thing a real thing? Like where you get like a shit ton less food there compared to USA?
Well, so the thing that is most noticeable in Europe is, well, first of all, there are a lot of like American style restaurants that make it here, and in those restaurants you get like pretty big portions. Also, for some food that's been made more popular across Europe, like kebab shops and kebab places, you get like donor places, you get a lot of fucking food. The most noticeable thing is on drinks, like the cups they give you are like enough, like you'll be done with it before you get any food. They're very small, and there are no fucking free refills in Europe too. Which sucks. Unless you're at like a fast food place, but at like restaurants, you don't get free food, which is really fucking annoying. Also in Sweden, which is weird, in fucking Sweden, they don't put ice in their goddamn fucking drinks sometimes. It's really weird. Like I'll ask for like water or like a soda or whatever, sometimes they don't put ice in it. It's really fucking strange to me. Piss the fuck off.
Room temperature, baby. You know, cold beverage is a man-made construct, fam. Gotta go natural. You gotta squat when you poop, and you gotta have room temperature drinks.
I don't think it's normally that bad.
I can't wait, dude. I'm such an uncultured swine. I got chat roasting right now because I said I generalized like a trend or trope across the entirety of EU just now by asking about the portion size. So I was trying to keep it like Sweden. Chat, listen, I would ask him like specific Sweden things or Swedish things, but I'm such an uncultured, Ameritard that I have nothing here. I don't have to ask him. I don't know. Do you dip your French fries in mayonnaise over there? Like, is that even a Swedish thing?
What the fuck? I don't know if Swedes do it or not.
I don't know. Fuck, I forget. Is that a Swedish thing or is that a Holland thing?
I have no fucking idea. I'm not sure. I haven't paid attention to what people do with their French fries. So yeah.
Is the Twitch chat pasta real? Is there just like Soylent fountains everywhere because of all the rampant soy boys running rampant around there?
No, that's the number one thing I miss about North America, though. North America, water fountains are the best fucking thing ever. It is so hard to find a goddamn fucking water fountain in any fucking European country, or at least not in any of the ones that I've been in Germany, France, Poland, wherever the fuck I am now, Sweden. There are no fucking water fountains anywhere. They're a godsend.
So if you need water,
you go to a store,
yeah,
and it's great. There's a water fountain in every bathroom, but in all these European countries, you have to go and like beg, sir, can I please have some water? Sir, please. And then they give you some fucking dirty cup, and it's like, oh, there's a chop on the back. Go get it. Go get your lukewarm water. They're like, fuck. Oh my god. Yeah.
Drink your faucet water, you fucking American pleb.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to adapt. You need to adapt and let anti-Darwinism kick in here and learn EU hydration preservation techniques or something.
Yeah,
dude.
okay.
How's the metro? Has the metro been really good? Like how are you getting around right now? Are you driving around? Or are you like riding trains between countries and shit like that, or like you flying?
We took a train here, but I rent a fucking car. Hell yeah, I fucking drive where I go. Fuck that.
Oh, you have been? Oh, you have driven a car out there? Oh
yeah.
Okay, so and the sides of the road are reversed over there, right? So,
to my knowledge, the only place in the world with reversed roads would be New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and Japan, I think. In Sweden and Germany and Poland, the roads are as you would expect them to be.
Oh, I did not know that, actually. Okay, I knew New Zealand particularly did, but I couldn't recall.
And India too, I guess. Yeah, driving in New Zealand was really weird, but driving here is pretty normal, I guess. So the people drive really fucking slow, but it seems okay.
People drive slow.
Oh, also the fucking parking dudes here are insane, dude. I got 2 parking tickets like 3 days. These motherfuckers, if you're late like 20 minutes on the meter, I have never got a parking ticket in LA, and I've parked in some dumbass fucking spots before, like overnight. But in Sweden, dude, these fucking parking ticket cops are on their fucking balls. Holy shit. They're like, oh my God. Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
late like 20 minutes to the meter, those motherfuckers are out there. It's insane.
Well, I mean, I don't know, dude. 20 minutes, you're kind of pushing it. Like that's kind of risky. If it was like 5 to 10, sure, guys being that guy. When you're 20, dude, like that's a episode of SpongeBob, dude. Or a whole showing of SpongeBob, dude. You're kind of late.
Listen, mate, in LA, if you're supposed to have the meter plugged until like fucking 9 o'clock, I'll pay till it's like 6:30, and I'll just leave my car like, fuck it. Hopefully it rolls around in time. And I've been usually pretty good. Maybe I've just gotten really lucky in LA so far, but
Maybe.
shit.
You know, on that note, I got relatively screwed over when I was in Ohio. I had to go park somewhere, and I didn't read the sign correctly, but apparently it's like it's free parking on Sunday. So I put in like $1.50, and I didn't want to risk it. I'm like, I think the sign implies I don't have to pay on Sunday, but am I gonna like risk it and find out the hard way? I'm just gonna have to pay. So I didn't know what to fucking do. Like I didn't even know that like certain parking meters had like days off or whatever, or like freebie days. That was like new to me at that point. So
have you oh, I will say the one exception what I'm saying in America is on college campuses. Dude, if you are late by a microsecond, they have fucking ninjas. I'm pretty sure they have people that camouflage on the ground and will run out and
what?
take at you. Fuck that bullshit ass bullshit. College campuses are literal fucking Nazi shit, Nazi tier shit. The Führer must guide those parking enforcers. It's insane, dude. Oh my God.
Wait, so you're saying like parking on a campus, the campus parking cops are on your shit big time.
What I'm saying is that if you are being chased by a fucking rapist and you need to get a cop to you as soon as fucking possible, that if you could just drive a car like slightly onto a curb in a college campus, fucking parking enforcement will be there in 30 seconds or less, and you'll get help. That's the quickest law enforcement response anywhere in the fucking world is an American college campus, because those ticket dudes are like, dude, I parked outside to like run in and grab something from a locker, come out, and I don't even know how they wrote the ticket in time. I'll be out and I'll be like, there's like my VIN number and everything's on the ticket. I'm like, dude, I was in that building for 25 seconds. How the fuck did you even do this? Like RoboCop is like fucking sliding down the street, like writing these tickets. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, dude, they adapt, man. Look, you don't believe in portal technology, but like they needed it to be able to do their job better, and they keep it to themselves. That way you can't cheat to win and out portal them whenever they're portaling you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. The only upside is that on a lot of college campuses is if you actually go to where you have to pay the ticket, if you cry and you're like, oh, I didn't know you had to do the blah blah blah, they usually just forgive them, or at least
yeah, I was gonna say yeah, like if you don't mind doing the emotional burden of like giving a fuck enough to actually like cry and pretend and then enable them to have the mercy kill, then you could probably get away with it actually.
Yeah.
I didn't know. However, I feel like they wouldn't crack there though, because like the idea, because here's the thing, right? Let's say you get a ticket from like a state trooper, right? And it's like they write the ticket, and let's say you actually gave them a legitimate plea over like why they shouldn't give you a ticket. But then I've heard like stories of how like the cop will say like, well, I'm sorry, I already wrote the ticket. And so like if ticket 47,
I'm talking about, that's way different. If you're getting a ticket from an actual cop, the people that work on like college campuses writing tickets, those aren't police officers. These tickets are written and they're only filed like on the college campus. Well, if you're getting a parking ticket by like a cop, you probably are going to eat that shit. You've got to go cry to a judge at that point to undo.
So then hypothetically, like, so if you're some non-student, okay, I understand if you're a student who has an obligation to abide by the ecosystem within that university, then yeah, you care about the ticket or whatever, because they can just like fuck you over or whatever, right? But if you're like you and you're a non-student, I assume you were a non-student getting a ticket, what fucks do you give, right?
If I go back to UNO, the first thing I'm gonna have to do is pay off parking tickets. I know I've got outstanding tickets at that place. Fuck that shit. But yeah, oh wait, maybe they forward it to collections. Oh, I don't know. I might have. But yeah, I mean the college people, like, you won't be able to graduate or enroll in classes if you have outstanding parking tickets. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
if you ever want to try like, I only say this to you, have you ever played like the logic puzzles where it's like Sam has like you have like the big like cross boxes, and it'll be like Sam works at a store that's 5 miles north of another store, and the next one will be like Josephine has 2 brothers, and then the next one will be like this guy works at some place where he's already have, and you got to like go through and like logic figure out like which box everybody fits in. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. But what about it?
Yeah, dude. There are some parking signs in California, and I to this day I don't know like when the fuck you're allowed to park. Like there are some spots in fucking like Hollywood and LA and shit where you go to park and like it'll be like the sign will say like parking is like 9 to 12 and then
Right.
like 5 to 7. But then it'll be like Tuesdays and Thursdays, no parking at this time, and then like every other Sunday, no parking, and then like weekends are it's like the most confusing fucking
Oh, dude,
shit
yeah, it's
I've
garbage.
ever seen in my entire life. It's such a gamble. Like when I park at some of these things, like I try to like decipher the sign. It's like I have no fucking idea if I'm actually allowed to park here or
I
not. And like,
I understand that wholeheartedly here. I had a friend that was in
mhm,
San Clemente. This was like 20 whatever 14 or whatever, right? And
mhm,
the one time I'm in LA and I rented a car, I completely regretted it because it was like way more hassle to find somewhere to fucking park every fucking time. And the
mhm,
street cleaning was happening Wednesday nights, so you could not park on the street like 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. And I'm like, all right,
mhm.
cool. Where can I park then? And I had to like, bro, I was so scared because I couldn't tell like when the shit ended, like where no parking zone ended because it was so uninformative. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go park like 5 blocks over here, or I'm good. And it was like it was annoying. I understand like that sign sounds like literally hell on earth, but I've also been there where I'm just like, okay, I wish a sign would tell me where I can and can't park here because I can't tell at this point. Yeah, just parking in California is fucking garbage. Let's just
Oh,
get out of the
here are
way.
these Swedish signs. Somebody just looked at this. I don't know what the fuck this means. So for the Swedish signs where it says 17 to 7, I think that means you can park from 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. But then there's always like another time in like parentheses. I don't know what the fuck the parentheses. Does that mean like on weekends that's when you can park or some shit? Um,
It's like I'm
I
trying
have
to.
no fucking idea. Like,
Here we go.
oh, that's a weekend parking? Okay, yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, this sign is like super garbage. So wait, you actually came across one of these here? Is that correct?
Yeah, these things are like fairly commonish. Maybe not with this many qualifiers, but I ignore everything in the yellow. I don't know what the fuck that shit is. I look at the blue stuff. Yeah, fuck it. For the most part, like
Oh my
Swedes are
god.
pretty attentive. Like there's like I don't know what it is, but there's like some part of like Stockholm where you drive through and there are no stop signs and there are no lights anywhere. So I'm not actually sure who's supposed to go. So every time I approach an intersection, it's kind of like slow down and I look at everyone else and everybody just kind of like figures it out. I don't know if there's actually it's supposed to be like a right of way in any of these parts. I usually just do like, okay, who's being blocked by civilians right now? All right, my turn to go. Yeah, I'm not sure, but hey, it
Do,
works.
do you find that roundabouts are used a fuckload more out there compared to
Oh
NA?
yeah, they're roundabouts everywhere. They're really nice. They work really well. They even go so hardcore in their roundabouts. Some of their roundabouts here have like have stoplights in the roundabout. It's like really fucking weird. But no, it's really good. Roundabouts are amazing for traffic flow over stop signs. They're so good. Holy shit.
Heard that. No, I completely agree.
Hmm.
Um, I just again, I think we kind of repeating a topic from last week here, but just like having drove in Washington D.C. and I've seen like a 3-lane roundabout. That's where things
Hmm.
get a little bit crazy though. That's like when you have to like do you ever had to run into any of those multi-lane roundabouts?
Yeah, it's, I mean, like, if you don't have experience with them, I imagine them being confusing, but once you know how it works, like, basically, I think the way that it works in a roundabout is like, if you're all the way on the right, it means you're turning right, you're getting off immediately. If you're on the left, it usually means, well, you're not usually getting off on the first right. I don't think you're allowed to, but you're getting off on like the second or third. So, like, the traffic all kind of like works its way out so that you can just like zoom into a roundabout and then get out without having to worry about like waiting for people or like checking right of ways. I mean, obviously, you're always still looking, but like, I mean, like, I think like once you kind of understand how it works, it's pretty intuitive. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But like in America, sticking a roundabout somewhere is going to be really confusing because people don't have experience with them. So it's going to be really like weird, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I always notice is people are insecure. They end up stopping, not yielding. And it's like you could have went. Okay, well, not gonna go. Okay, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what what is yielding though? I ain't got time for all that shit. Fuck that.
Yeah.
All we know is fucking floor it, run and California stop, floor it, and I don't know. I guess I don't know. Just lack of compassion. I don't know. It is road rage like a. I want to typecast be like it's a particular like an American thing, but I know it exists everywhere. But I just feel like goddamn, it has to be pretty bad in USA though. Road
Yeah.
rage it is.
Hmm.
I do. We're so selfish, narcissistic, selfish, self-centered.
I don't know if I'm like crazy or not, but The drivers in the Midwest seemed way worse to me than the drivers in LA. I actually think that like the LA traffic, like it fucking moves. I really like the two left at a red light shit. I like that people. My number one thing, I don't remember if we talked about this last week or not. My number one thing that I like more about traffic in LA versus the Midwest is that in LA, when you put on turn signals, people respect the fuck out of that shit in LA. In the Midwest, if you put on a turn signal, you're basically like saying like, put up your dukes and fight, motherfucker. Let's see who's gonna do it. If you throw up a turn signal in the Midwest, whoever's behind you is fucking gassing it, dude. He will fight you like a motherfucker for that lane. But in LA, when you throw up a turn signal, I don't know if they're just like, this fucker's gonna merge no matter what I do or not, but like you can cut into some crazy shit. You put on a signal, people respect that shit. I don't know, I really like the LA traffic over like the Midwest shit. It drives me fucking crazy.
No, I hear you, man. At least you get turn signals. I feel like in Louisiana you don't even get that shit. It's like, dude, every year it's like, yeah, they never learn, dude. Like this invention called the turn signal that happened quite a couple decades ago. You want to use it at some point? All the fucking time, dude. Oh my god, I can't tell you how often I'm at a stop sign and guys approaching me from my left, and I could have went if he had like turn signal to let me know he's turning right. Doesn't care at all. Not even. Bonus points probably on the phone while doing so. Just like, nah, I'm good. You know, doesn't matter. Fuck you. Turn signal was dead. So yeah, I ain't got time for all that, dude. I'm busy getting my blowjob in my F350 while fucking flooring it and whipping donuts in the parking lot or whatever.
Yeah.
But
sounds like the Trihex life.
I try. I recreationally try to drive well while getting blowjobs just for the fuck of it. I mean, fuck, if people can text and drive, if people can text and drive, then why can't I get a beige while driving and still not be safer? So fuck it.
I don't remember if I've told this stream. I don't know if I've told this story on stream before or not. Have you ever tried to have somebody fuck you while you're driving?
No. I'm trying to think. Okay. Okay. Well, damn, that's crazy for you.
I don't remember if we talked about this stream or not. Holy shit. Okay, never mind. These aren't good things. Never mind. I think we're gonna get rage. I don't care.
Yeah, well, Destiny, we'll save that for TwitchCon, man.
Yeah, for
actually,
TwitchCon.
Wait, are you confirmed? You're going to TC?
Yeah, of course. I have to. What the fuck?
You have to?
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a good topic here. We should save some next week actually, TwitchCon, because I want to hear about the pros and cons of like going and doing shit versus like staying home and being like whatever, like 15K Andy, because like all the most of the top 0.1% are not gonna be streaming anyway, so it's gonna be hella free views that weekend. So
well, I mean, like, I don't know about for normal people, but I mean, like, I live like right fucking there, and I can take the time off anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got the LA privilege. Yeah. Fuck you. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, I think I'm tapped out here, man. I don't have any other topics for you. I was already pretty dry in the first place here, so I'm out of lube. I put it in. I done ran out of dick, fam. So I gotta move on to the next thing.
Well, hey, we did it, so I appreciate you very much. I hope you're having fun with your Mario Maker stuff.
Thank you, man. No, I appreciate the love, man. Thanks for the raids. They've been very, very lovely.
Yeah, I love you, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Have fun.
Yeah,
it's the end of episode 22, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, yeah, this is episode 22. I could have been wrong here though, but no one's ever counting. I think we've been consistently not keeping track of the number because you ask and I ask, and I don't think we really know. So
next Wednesday is the 24th. I'd probably be in Nebraska, but I should be able to do that one too. So yeah. Right, also, my new D&D is starting tomorrow as well. If people want to continue that, so you're good.
Okay, you're telling your chat that, right? Like.
Yeah, tell everybody that. No problem with that?
No, I didn't know if you. I'm like, but for a second, I'm like, are you inviting me? Because it's kind of a sudden thing, and I feel like you didn't tell me anything about this, and I thought you were continuing your campaign with like Lily Pichu, and I'll just add a lot of questions real quick if I was in.
Yeah, your character was supposed to be ready, but I guess you're just not going to be in it. Then that's fine.
Fuck, dude. Okay, that's all good. It's whatever. The usual, the black guys left out because I was late, and you just gotta okay, JLP, okay. chill, bro.
Yeah, like, turn it into a race thing. I know how it is. Okay.
I mean,
aggressive, aren't you?
I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm sorry. So, what, genuine racial problems right now? You're just going to typecast as me being oversensitive right now? Wow, great job, American.
Well, when your definition of genuine racial problems is not getting invited to a D&D campaign, I think that sums up the progressive movement perfectly. Thanks, Trihex.
You ever see the mental scarring I have from the disillusion of the fact that you won't let me be in part of your thing? Like, what's the problem?
If you have any mental scarring, you can just wear that brain glove and
I'll have you know, dude, like, I'll have you know how fucking triggered I get whenever like all the subconscious depictions of medieval creatures are all obviously white. Whenever I ask people, you know, what does an elf look like, and the elf is like some fucking hot big tittied blonde chick who's white and not some dark skinned like golden haired or gray haired waifu. Yeah, I'm fucking triggered, bro. You got a problem with that? Where are all the black people in Lord of the Rings? Huh?
Disney tried to do anime in the past, and everybody just complained about it. With black people. Okay, I'm done. All right, I love you.
Yeah.
Fun,
okay? All right, man. Later.
There was some shoe that was going to be released, and somebody said that they didn't like Kaepernick said that the flag was probably a bad idea, and people are like mad as fuck about it.